like to call him Springfield's original punk rocker.
Yeah.
That's RAWK.
Rocker, right?
Rocker.
Yeah,
Right?
I was
All right.
wanting to get into how did you come up with that? Since
So here, hang on. We got to properly introduce.
Well, we basically already have. We're into it.
All right. Everybody knows him. He watches the show. He comments on the show. Y'all have been probably shot by him. Sounds strange to say
legally shot with a camera.
Mike McQuerter's here, everybody.
Mike McQuerter.
He's here.
So yeah, he wants to know how I came up with him being the original Springfield punk rocker.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And it's just it's actually not a punk rock thing as much as it is just like he's been. I love when he posts all his photos. I guess you're sitting right here, so I can talk to you. I love when you.
Yeah, not in third person. He's right there. You can say you.
He does this and he does that.
Yeah.
No, the time too. I mean, the times, your age, and when you were kind of like banging in Springfield as far as music's concerned and all that, and your big ass hair that you had and your crazy outfits, and
I wish I still. Oh man.
and the cars, all the cool cars that you've posted that you used to have when you were younger, and just all those kinds of different things wrapped up together. It's just like, I don't know, it just strikes me as like, man, Mike McQuerter didn't give a damn, man. I love it.
I was clueless. I mean,
it wasn't that you didn't give a damn, you just didn't know.
It was more clueless. I mean, we played at a Battle of the Bands in '89, and my stage clothes was a Levi's sweatshirt and green Boston Celtics sweats. I mean, how Steve Mason, Kelly Gardenhire, and Craig Welch didn't just look at me and go, "What are you doing?"
Right.
Like, no.
Because I've got this on video. I mean,
Oh my God.
There's a clip on YouTube.
It would be so good to have that.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. We can totally look it up.
And I think that's the punk rock spirit that I'm talking about.
What is it called so I can look it up while we're chatting?
It's probably into Racket Squad, Bathroom Wall. We were doing a Faster Pussycat song.
There's a video of that on YouTube with you with those pants
with
on?
the green Celtic sweats.
Oh, you might have to play that.
My hair it grew out long before it went down.
I will search this.
So I looked like I had on a big orange helmet.
That's hilarious.
Awesome.
I want to jump in just real quick and say hey to all the people that are commenting already. Donnie from last week, he's on here. He's watching. He's like, hey, we are all special.
Yes,
because I call everybody our special guests. So thank you for that. Robin Thomason is here. Tom Hembry is here. A longtime friend of Mike's. And so far, that's what we have commenting. I know there's other people that are watching, but I never call anybody out until they actually comment. I just don't want to make them feel weird. And sometimes people are like, how come you didn't say hi to me? I'm like, I didn't see you comment. And they're like, oh, okay. That's the way we play this game. So I'm going to look up that video while you guys kind of get a little bit more acclimated. Yeah, we should. I wonder if we get sound from this.
Let's hope not.
But if not, at least there'll be a visual of the green pants.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to have sound.
Right.
Robin was there. She
oh, really?
She was there and seen it.
Holy cow.
She knows my fashion.
But this to me is kind of like, even if it was accidental, it's still the spirit of kind of punk rock, of like not caring, not conforming, not doing what everyone else is doing. Like, you may or may not known how to manage your hair, but you just didn't manage it. You didn't care.
It wasn't even on my brain to even think about this.
Right.
I mean, that's how bad it was. I mean, Robin can attest to it. She's one of the people who used to always give me a hard time. She's like, you need to do something. But
and the outfits, all the old school pictures you post, just every time you've got just some
not coming up.
Banging outfit on.
You might put 2 T's in racket because that's what you did in the 80s.
Oh, see, you did funny spellings.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was the 80s.
If it's the 80s, you got to spell it, you know.
Right?
If rat's going to have 2 T's.
For whom the bell tolls. Look, I see green pants.
That one's, there's from the bell tolls on there too.
Oh, my God.
And if you go back.
Oh, this is fantastic.
If you go back one, there's
nobody watching can see it.
No, I know. I don't want to display it till I'm ready.
Well, don't.
The bottom one right below it, that's at the Hitchin Post on Metal Monday.
The Hitchin Post.
And I've got on red Chicago Bull sweats in that one.
Oh my God. All
Show the first one.
Well, I'll get it going and then
Screen share it.
Oh man, here it comes.
Give me a second.
This is embarrassing.
Hang on. I got to go full screen here. I don't know if it has sound, so if it doesn't have sound, that's okay. You guys can look it up yourself and look for it.
We can do a reaction video to it.
That's right.
And
we'll do a total reaction.
Steve Mason, today is his birthday.
Oh, it is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy
Love
birthday,
you.
Steve Mason. It is also my nephew Philip's birthday. He's 8 today. He's in Sweden. And it's also my best friend from grade school in California's birthday, Ann Burdick. And yesterday was Mama Gail's birthday. It's like a crash birthday party. Kate Stewart, her birthday was yesterday too. Anyway, all right. So let's share.
Oh my God.
You guys can talk while I'm doing this. We don't have to sit there and be
just
all...
Just
This
get
really
it going.
bad.
Just get it going.
But yeah, I was a fashion victim for most of my life. My wardrobe consisted of rock T-shirts and sweatpants.
Right.
And high top Nikes with no socks.
Right. When did you graduate high school?
In '88.
88.
Same year as me?
So you're the same as Tara. I'm 1 year younger.
Good old Willard High, not Rydell High, but hey.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
We'll get into the Rydell thing in a minute. All right.
Grease is the word, people.
This computer is not set up to do this yet, so go ahead and have a conversation, and I will figure this out. Don't just sit there in silence. It makes me feel awkward.
We're not going to sit
I'm
inside.
put more pressure on you.
Come on,
More
what's
pressure
taking so
on
long?
me?
I'm trying to read some of the comments here, but
I will get to that, too. Oh,
I can't see squat because my eyes are so bad.
Well, I know we got...
Robin's right. She said he wouldn't let me help with my hair. Well,
all right. Yeah. For a minute, let's go to the comments, because this is going to take me a second, because this computer's not set up to do this. So
Kimberly Utter Brother says, good evening. Tom says, yo, Mike.
what's up, Tom? I finally met Tom the other night at Love Bomb.
Oh, Love Bomb, yeah.
Oh, had you not met him before then?
Not in person.
Oh, that's wild.
Super cool guy.
Yeah, very cool. That's the night we all found out Taylor Hawkins died.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
yes. We were there
during
Friday night,
during
yes.
the song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
During freaking, Learn to Fly. Stephanie Cagel's here. Hi, Stephanie. She says, hello, my friends. Today was horribly hot down here, but I survived. She's in Florida. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tom Hembry says, Zeppelin versus punk rock.
Yeah, he's always... Jared says, what's up, all you delightful people?
Thank you.
Nice job the other night, Jared. That was awesome.
At what?
They play. His band played.
Oh, his band, Metal Militia.
Yeah, they played
Metal
with,
Militia.
Naked Zoo, and
Nice.
Very cool.
he tackled some pretty tough stuff. Queensryche, Accept, Maiden.
That's cool. We were out of town, or else we
Painkiller
would have
by
gone.
Judas Priest. When they started Painkiller, I was like, oh man, he's going to take on this, and he did awesome.
Awesome. So, while she's hopefully figuring that out, I don't know why your computer's not set up for it. What do you mean?
This computer has never done share screen. You have to set the settings to allow it to share your screen and all that crap. So I'm dealing with that right now. So it's going to take me just a sec.
So when did you, speaking of your incredibly cool fashion, when did you start getting into all that as far as music? Did you kind of start out getting into music first?
Oh, music's something that has just been completely surrounded with all my life because of my uncle Harold Morrison, my mom's brother. He banjo player, he's played with Marilyn Monroe. Loretta Lynn. Why I said Marilyn? Loretta Lynn.
Maybe you meant Bill Monroe.
He probably played with Bill Monroe.
Right.
Loretta Lynn, Boxcar Willie, all of those older. And so I was always around that a lot, all around bluegrass music all the time. But,
okay.
And then, but I grew up listening to, my mom worked at a diner and had this little jukebox that I would just all the time. Every time I was in there, I'd play Honky Tonk Woman by the Stones, Slow Ride, Foghat, play that funky music, just stuff like that. And then I discovered Kiss.
Yeah.
And Kiss. Right. KISS, hottest band in the land. And
just ask them.
It blew my mind, and I had to be a guitar player.
So you didn't start till after you got introduced to Kiss, as far as actually playing?
Yeah. As soon as once I saw Kiss, I had to have a guitar.
Did you get into, because of the bluegrass stuff, did you ever almost take that up at all? That style?
Never.
Did you hate it, or did you just not want to take it up?
I enjoyed it, but I didn't. I mean, because I got my mom. We'd go to bluegrass festivals and stuff all the time, and it was all right. I never listened to it at home.
Oh,
I mean, my mom did. The only stuff I listened to at home that my mom listened to, I'd listen to a lot of Elvis.
Okay.
And just stuff like that. But
did you grow up here?
Yeah.
You're a
He
native.
said Willard High School.
We moved in Willard to Willard
right,
when I was
right.
2 after my dad passed away. But
Oh,
I was born
okay.
in Memphis.
Okay.
So I always tell people I'm a blood-born blues man.
Right.
Nobody believes me, and it's not true. But a guy I used to work with who loves blues, he's like, if you say that again, I'm going to punch you. Because you're no blues man. And I'm like, you're right, I'm not. But it pisses you off, so I'll keep saying it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys ever knew Gary Krapenhoff. That's who I'm referring to. He used to play in a lot of bands back in the day. He played with Bill Bruce. And
Oh, okay.
in fact, that's how I met him, was through Bill Bruce back in the day.
I've talked to Bill about he's wanting to be on the show sometime. We'll probably have to zoom him in, but still it'd be cool
Yeah,
to talk to him.
Bill's extremely talented. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when I met Bill, we were still in high school, and Bill was a better guitar player at 17 than I am at 52.
Right.
I mean, he was better than me then than I'll ever be ever.
Right.
Just extremely gifted player.
Yeah. So when you started playing, when did you get into Kiss? Were you still just a kid?
Kiss was third or fourth grade.
Third or fourth grade?
This older kid next door had a couple Kiss records, and we were over there playing, and I heard it. And I was like, and I saw, like, what's that? Oh, it's a band called Kiss, and he handed me the cover, and it was actually their first album.
Huh.
And my mom, she's like, all right, I'll go buy a Kiss record. Most parents were like, no, Kiss stands
Yeah.
for Knights in Satan Service.
Right.
And in Sunday school one day, I said, well, how do you know it don't stand for Kids in Sunday School? I got sent out in the hall. So you don't know what it stands for.
Exactly.
Maybe that's that punk rock. thing you're
Yeah, that's
talking
what I'm
about.
saying. You came by it so
I'm always
naturally.
going to try to find. I mean, Robin will tell you that if there's another side to take on an argument, I will find it and go there. Come on, back me up on this, Robin. You know it's true.
Oh, that is exactly what I was talking about.
I love your my shirt, my Rydell High.
Yeah, leave your shirt alone. You look great. Julia, hi Julia. She says, "What day is it? Where am I? One Thursday I'm in Austin, then Dallas, then Kansas City. Hello, lost friends." Nice. Hi, Bev.
Okay.
All right, so I'm still working on this. It's like it's gonna like make my screen disappear to allow these permissions, and we can't do that because we're live right now. It's like, oh, you're gonna leave this screen.
Well, we don't have to play
and all
it.
this shit.
We don't have to play it.
So what we can say is just look up Racket Squad with 2 T's.
Racket Squad with 2 T's, green Celtic sweats.
Meanwhile, we're just gonna like let it play here because that's hilarious. Look at that. Look at that. You can kind of hear it.
Are they tucked into his socks?
Oh no, I didn't. I did that with my jeans. That was like the thing in the late '80s, was tuck your jeans in.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, that's at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
In fact, Bill Klein in the For Whom the Bell Tolls video, Bill Klein, you can see him sitting there watching.
Really?
And that's how he learned about Kelly, who ended up becoming the singer in the first version of Mr. Scary, which was, the first one was Kelly singing, Bill Klein was playing bass, David Mark on guitar, and Bart Kelly on drums.
Huh.
Oh,
So
man.
that's kind of how that happened.
Oh, that's funny. I love this so much.
Good stuff. Anyways.
But Kelly, Craig, and Steve, all after this band, I didn't play any bands anymore. I still played all the time, but all 3 of those guys have continued to keep doing stuff.
This is when Steve had the mustache and the big fluffy mullet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier I said he was the late 80s Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, he hasn't
Hilarious.
responded to that yet.
He hasn't responded. Uh-oh.
He may not know I said that.
That's funny.
Love you, Steve.
Well, we'll eventually get that figured out so we can screen share again. We used to.
Oh, I brought you guys something.
Okay, we have presents.
We have gifts.
I've started to open it. Like, why am I opening it? I have you guys open it.
Okay. Let's.
It kind of ties into last week's theme a little bit,
Last week's show.
but you're never going to believe who's on the bottles.
Ooh, I like this already.
Oh, yeah.
It's both
You gotta have Grease 2.
It's not
You
just
gotta hold it
one.
up.
It's both. Look at that.
Nice.
Grease 2 is great.
Yes.
Grease 1 is the
Grease
best.
2.
Grease 2 is great in a very bad way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because it's got
awesome.
Maxwell Caulfield, I think, who was Rex Manning in Empire Records.
Oh, right.
So there's one, I'm assuming, for you and one for me. Maybe. I don't know.
You can both share it.
We'll see what they are. Last week's theme. So we're going with last week's theme when we had Donnie Cockrum here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hot sauce made by the guitar player Eddie Ojeda from Twisted Sister.
Holy shit.
That's so great.
Whoever thought they were going to get that. I've actually had one of his. It's pretty good sauce. No idea if he actually makes it. But
Nice.
Carolina Reaper.
got him and D. Snyder on it.
Oh, they're kind of the same label.
And they're not going to take
Cherry
it.
habanero.
This has got like a peach thing going on, it says
I
here.
haven't had that one.
It says Carolina Reaper Ultimate Heat, but it's peach.
Carolina Reaper.
I can't read what that says. Pucker something? Pucker butt. It says pucker butt.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Look at that. Awesome. Very cool.
Thought you guys might like it. And then I didn't know if you had. I figured you probably owned Grease, but I didn't know if you had Grease too.
Oh, I don't have the DVD just like that.
Right.
Perfect.
This is so cool because it has both of them. That is the way to do that. To satisfy Dan and me both.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
here to
Thank
satisfy
you,
everybody.
friend. That's awesome. I love gifts. Oh, you're gonna try it. Okay.
I'm gonna try a little.
Donnie, if you're still watching, we're trying some hot sauce here, bud.
I'll try a little.
Right?
I'm not supposed to put it on my finger.
No, because you'll get it in your eye.
Oh, that's really interesting. It's so good.
Interesting. Is that another word for that sucks?
No, the cherry. It's got cherry in it, like legit.
Oh wow, it's super hot, but it's got
You can taste cherry.
yes.
It's cool. I dig it, man.
You want to try that one?
No, I'm good for it.
You're good for right now.
I'll try it later.
You gotta
Awesome.
cleanse the palate before you
Yeah,
take
that's
on
right.
another
Get a little-
flavor.
Little water.
Thanks, Mike.
You're
That's
welcome.
awesome.
So,
Gifts are cool. And then Robin says, "Cool rider."
Hey, she knows what's good. She was actually in the high school Grease.
Oh really?
There's a picture in the yearbook of her.
What did she play?
I don't remember what character was it. She wasn't one of the main characters.
So what were you, Robin, in Grease in high school? I would like to know that
Let's hear
too.
it.
Yep. And Shell says, Team Grease won. Yes.
no way, Jose.
Yes.
I probably can't say no way,
There's
Jose,
no let's
anymore,
bowl,
can
let's
I?
bowl rock and roll for you.
I'm going to go to the comments for a second. Jared says, I have come to the conclusion that King's X is, in fact, the best band in the world. Now, is he being a smarty pants?
He
He's
has
being
to.
a complete smart.
Yeah, he
Yes.
has to be being an
Right.
ass.
Yo, it's funny bringing up Jared. I posted a picture the other day because it popped up in my Facebook feed. It's Bobby Blotzer from Rat that I'd shot at Rocklahoma a few years ago. And it's one of those, Rat's probably my all-time favorite band, and I was like waiting for him to do this move. I knew he was going to reach for the cymbal, and do the hit stop. So I was like trained on him. And he contacted me not long after that wanting to purchase the photo, which was like freaked me out because I'm like, this guy's been shot by the best in the business.
Right.
He wants to. So it took me 3 days to call him. So I was like, what do I say to this dude? And then when I called him, I could barely understand him because he's got such a gruff voice. He's like, I'm like,
Right.
what, Bobby? Anyway, super nice guy. But it popped up in my memories the other day, and it turned into it because Guns N' Roses played. They closed that night out. And I had left because I was just wore and beat out. It's nothing against not wanting to see Guns N' Roses. Richard Fortas on guitar. Guy's a phenomenal player. He used to be in Pale Divine out of St. Louis. He used to play all the time. I don't know if you guys remember them or not.
Mm-mm.
But someone made a comment about Guns N' Roses being terrible, and I was like, oh, great. Here comes the war. So I think him and Julie Lawson had a little sparring match.
Oh, boy.
I think they stayed pretty friendly. But
Right?
it's like, it's going to get hostile. Someone's talking
totally.
bad about the Rose.
That's right. It's an interesting thing too because we joke with Jared all the time about Guns N' Roses, like Axl Rose in particular. We joke. I mean, they all those bands that were crazy and stuff in the 80s had their place.
Oh yeah,
But
I mean,
we all settle on one or two that are like, that's mine, and the rest of them can go to hell.
and that's me. That's me with Rat.
Right?
I mean, Rat's not perfect, but they're my.
That's what you like.
I'll die on that hill.
Nice. Okay. All right.
But you can't argue. Appetite for Destruction is great.
Yeah.
Jared comes back with
His
fucking
computer-
hacked.
his computer
King's
got
X
hacked.
blows.
Blows away the competition.
There you go.
Joshua Poole
Jared.
said that's what happened when you leave your computer unattended.
Oh, nice work. I missed that comment wherever that is. Right there.
Robin also said she played Patty Simcox.
Patty Simcox. So she
Okay.
played.
She was one of that.
She was the one who was like, "Oh my God, she's so."
Guys, it was a long time ago. It's like
Yep.
30 years ago.
Patty Simcox. Yeah, that
I
was
just remember
the fun
the picture in the
cheerleader.
yearbook. She's crying.
There is a scene where she has to
That
cry.
same yearbook, though, I'm on stage. Is the first time I ever played. We played in a talent show.
Oh yeah.
And we played Poison Talk Dirty to Me.
Nice.
I'm surprised we got away with it.
At Little Willard School.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. When you started getting into the guitar from then, I assume you were in your single digits still before you got one, or
It didn't. I was fourth grade when I took my first lessons from a guy named Don Sharp at Hoover Music, which is really neat that my daughter ended up taking violin lessons at Hoover. Rest in peace, Hoover. Great
Yeah.
store.
Right.
Yeah.
Great store.
And I wanted to be good immediately. I got the patience of nothing. My patience doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I played a few things. Like I want to play Kiss. I don't want to play House of the Rising Sun.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't last long. They wanted me to play an acoustic because I was playing this like SG copy, and it was like, it might as well have been a semi. It was so big. So I quit. Then when Rat came out of the cellar, and I saw Warren DeMartini, and I was like, dude, that guy can shred. I want to play again. And then that's where I picked it up then, and I never quit.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be no Warren DeMartini. The guy's a beast, but that's what made me want to actually play and get in a band for the first time.
Right.
We did the talent show. It was fun, but we were terrible. But I hooked up with Steve and Craig and Kelly, and we immediately started writing our own material.
Oh, that's cool.
And we went and we recorded at a couple of studios in town because I didn't want to just sit and play. I mean, I like playing cover songs. It's fun, but Kelly had already done like a 6-song demo that he had done with his band, all original material. So he pushed me into that right off the bat, him and Craig.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's cool.
I wish more. I mean, I know, you guys have had that argument, the covers versus originals. Well, Naked Zoo the other night, Naked Zoo's always been known as a cover band that plays the standards, and they do a lot of really cool stuff. Well, they played a new original song the other night.
Really?
That I guess they'd never played. I'd never heard it. It was a freaking killer tune.
Yeah.
And I wish more bands, even though trying to think of Love Bomb, Dirty Saints, bands like do an original song. See what you guys. I'd love to hear.
Just try it.
I'd just love to hear it because there's so much good talent in this town.
Yeah, I think I'm creeping in. I'm starting to influence.
People and get them to.
I'm starting to get them to write some.
Get
original.
the guts.
I think it would work totally fine. Especially with somebody that's already got somewhat of a built-in. A lot of bands will argue when they're starting out. Well, you got to play covers so people recognize it. It's like, okay, that's fine. It's a fine argument, but now that you're being recognized plenty well, you're drawing pretty good crowds, and you still have your back pocket full of 70 options.
Right.
Why not play just one of yours? Because if you've already got somebody there supporting you anyway, and they've kind of come to know you as people, you're not gonna play like an original song, and then all of a sudden everyone hates it and walks out.
The bar's not going to empty.
No,
right, for
it's
one
not
song.
So it's a perfect chance to actually start kind of bringing those in. I mean, I think mixtapes do it too.
Yeah.
And when Naked Zoo, when they said they were going to do a new song, man, I got really excited for it.
Yeah.
And
especially if it's in the vein of the covers you're doing.
And it was.
Yeah, exactly. Then it shouldn't bother anybody if they like you already.
It wouldn't in a million years.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play all over the place, and it was like there was some rules posted in the band room or whatever, and it was like no original music and none of this kind of songs and none of this kind of songs. It's like, what? You're literally a live jukebox back then when I was playing country music,
right?
And it was just like no, it literally had a rule list: no original music. Not every bar, but some bars did, and it was just like. We're doing it anyway.
Yeah, and as soon as you did an original song, they're like, "What are you doing? You're not going to play here anymore."
Right.
Yeah.
Or they didn't notice, because sometimes when you have a song that just fits that genre that you're doing and you just keep it going, they dance anyway. Like back in the 90s for country, it was all about dancing. That's all that mattered. And so they would dance to it anyway because it had a cool beat
going. People are going to do it.
Exactly. Right.
And
but
in my old band, we played. You wouldn't have known some of the stuff if we played originals or not, because we played bands that most people didn't know who they were.
Right.
People are like, who's Jet Boy? Who's DeMalls? I mean,
yeah.
who are these bands? And I liked playing them, but I started to learn pretty quick. It's like, yeah, I like this stuff. And the guys we're playing, the guys in the band, we like, but no one out here knows what the hell we're playing.
Right.
So they're not really getting into this.
Yeah.
So let's play Wild Thing. Everyone knows that one.
Oh gosh.
But
so that would have been. Were you actually out, or was that the band that played the talent contest, or did you end up starting a different band?
That was just two lifelong friends I grew up with, and another friend at school that was a drummer.
Yeah.
And I'm still in touch with all of them but one. I mean, Sean Worth, the other friend, me and him have been best friends since we were like 3. And
Wow.
It was cool that our first time on stage, him and I played together. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was really neat because it's you're in the high school gym. Everyone's out and around the edges. Well, they shut the curtains, and we were getting ready to play, and had my little Backstage Plus amp that was like that. Had my Nady wireless. I was cool.
Nady wireless. Yay!
I had a wire, so I could go where I wanted to. When they opened the curtains, everybody came down to the stage.
Wow.
And I was like,
Yeah.
cool.
I need to do this
I was
more.
like, this is really neat.
Yeah.
So for like 3 days after that, I felt like I was a high school rock star.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
But it felt like
But it
it.
felt like it to me, and that's good enough.
I love it.
But it was fun.
I've got some comments I just want to run back to. So I'm going to come back here. Julia says from earlier, she says, did Mike just reference Rex Manning Day?
Yes, I did.
Which is tomorrow, which is when we will be
Oh my
watching
gosh,
Empire
tomorrow's
Records
Rex
at my
Manning
house.
Day.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to be watching Empire Records
There
too.
you
I'm
go.
off work tomorrow, so I know that's going to be on my agenda.
And Brian Betancourt's here. He says, sup, peoples? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Brian?
Jared says, can you read that long one? You got that?
Yeah, thanks for the compliments on Saturday night, Mike. Glad you enjoyed us. Props to Tara for being my vocal coach for a year to try and teach an old dog how to breathe properly and support from the diaphragm.
Diaphragm.
And helping to restore my lost confidence.
That's what I'm better at than actually teaching voice, I think.
Yeah.
To me, you guys, you're both singers. It takes guts to get up there and do that.
Yeah.
Because to even get me to sing backups like pulling teeth.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the studio. Last time we recorded in the studio was over Crystal Recording over off of, doesn't matter, I don't remember. And Steve Mason would never sing backup.
Right.
And I still give him a hard time to this day.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing
He still won't.
We're doing this backup gang vocal. And as soon as we do it, I yank my heads off so I can hear him. And he immediately stops. He's like, ah! And I'm like, all right, stop. We got to do this over. And he's like, you're trying to hear me do this, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, you're not gonna.
Right.
Because that was about the only time I would do it. But
Gang vocals. Yep.
I was just, I'm like, I'm having a hard enough time remembering the songs.
It's such the difference between like a player who's really a good player and a singer who's a really good singer. We have those things. Like, I can't imagine. I played keys on stage for a while with a couple bands, and I was never a good keyboard player. And I was always like, but I could sing anything. And other people were like playing their asses off and like, no, I'm not singing. And it's just an interesting divide between where you're comfortable or what you're good at or whatever. It's crazy.
And they'll tell you, get me to even on stage is hard. I mean, I got stage fright so bad, probably even now. We've talked about getting all 4 of us back together, just play an hour set, opening for somebody. I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. Can I hide in the back?
Can I go sit over here?
Can I hide in the back and do it? And then I'll be really comfortable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've lightened up a lot. But back then, we started one song, and I started the song wrong. I started 3 different songs. They're like, dude,
what the hell is going on?
think we can get it right on the 4th time?
Right.
I got this.
I got it.
And I got through it, but
You mean
Holy
you
cow.
started one and then had to stop and then started it again wrong and then had to stop?
I kept starting the wrong songs. I had the set list in front of me,
Right.
but I would start playing the wrong
What's the
song.
riff? What's the damn riff?
And, it was funny the first 2 times, but by the 3rd time, they're like, hey, dumbass.
Right?
Like, yeah, I'll get through this. Good thing we're playing in the Pizza Hut parking lot, and no one's going to know about this. So
I love the parking lot shows. That's so good. We got a nice placement of the wheel smack.
Huh? Who
Shell,
said that?
Shell says nice
yeah.
placement of the wheel smack
Yeah.
over his right shoulder.
Looks like it even has a little light on it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
oh, okay.
Kinda
I
does.
see it right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep. There's our wheel smack from Colorado.
Everybody deserves a will smack once in a while.
I know.
When you start the wrong song three times, you deserve a will smack.
Get a wheel smack. Hashtag wheel smack.
Rich Thomason says, "Hey, Mike."
Hey, that's Robin's husband.
Oh, okay.
Good to have you both.
I missed
I
that
went to school
one.
with him as well.
Nice. That's cool. They've been together like since school?
They dated in high school and then parted ways, like a lot of us do, and then they reconnected, and they've been married 6 years now?
That's cool.
6 or 7 years.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's
they
awesome.
live down. They got a real cool place down in Arkansas.
Awesome. Very cool. I love it.
Did you go to college or do anything after high school?
No, after high school, I had this genius idea. I'm going to pack up and move to Los Angeles and play music.
That's super smart.
I've got, I'm terrified to be on stage. No idea that the whole 80s metal scene is in a complete nosedive.
Right?
And Bill Bruce was out there already. He was going to GIT, Guitar Institute of Technology, out there. And I'm like, well, let's go out there. And I wasn't out there very long. It didn't take me long to figure out, you know what? I'm not really enjoying this place.
Right.
I mean, Hollywood's a dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Helicopters flying around your apartment.
I don't like LA at all.
It's, dead bodies. You see a dead body every other day laying in the street.
Oh, man.
It sounded like you were peeing.
Yeah.
I couldn't see your. I could see your hands under the table, and I hear things like Stan peeing under the table.
He's got this jug down here,
It'd be hilarious if you were.
so he doesn't have to get up.
I gotta get up, so I'm just gonna take a leak right here.
Hell with going to the bathroom and taking breaks. Let's just.
So I went out there. I didn't stay long and came back and landed a pretty good job that I was really happy with.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it fizzled out, but it was a lot of fun.
And then just kind of hung the guitar up from there, or did you?
No, I probably play more now than I ever did.
Oh, okay.
Even when I was playing, it's funny because when I was playing in a band, I think I had 2 guitars, a little GK amp, and a 412. 3 years after that, I've got 6 Marshall cabinets, a rack, and I became a gear fanatic.
Right.
And I enjoyed more behind the scenes. I like, because Mr. Scary and stuff, when they record in the studio, I like being on the backside of it. Because when I was with Kelly and playing with those guys, we'd have a little Fostex recorder and we do home recording and stuff.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm kind of like we were talking about with your son. I can kind of stay out of nobody's looking at me. No one's going to hear or see anything till I'm happy with
Till I'm happy with
Yeah.
it, right?
And that's how I am with photography. Because I used to sneak. I've got some old photos like Dockin and Rat and stuff from the 80s. I'd sneak you remember the Kodak disc cameras, the little flat ones?
Oh, yeah.
I could cram that down my pants and
Right.
10 rolls of film.
Right.
And then I'd put electrical tape over the flash.
Oh,
And
nice.
sneak photos that way.
Back in the day when they're like, don't take pictures.
Oh, yeah. If they saw you with a camera, you were getting hauled
especially
out.
a recorder. And now you can't stop it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't stop
Now
it.
it's annoying to... I want to be in the front row at a concert so I don't have to see all the cell phones in
Yeah.
front of me.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Everyone used to hold up lighters, which was cool, but now it's all cell phones.
If it's the cell phone, if it's the light on the cell phone, I can deal with that when it's a moment in the art arena or whatever.
yeah. When you're kind of the lighter, it's a shit.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you're using
yeah.
a cell phone.
But when it's like you're watching the whole concert through your phone the whole time, like you don't put it down.
Yeah, there's been some pretty funny stuff on YouTube of I think there was one of Jeff Tate from Queensryche just reaches down, picks the phone up, and just chucks it into the crowd. And it was because the guy's the flash was on.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, if you're going to do this,
At least think about it.
Turn the flash up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's sitting there just right in my face.
I can understand getting like a clip because you want to have something or
Yeah,
a
but
few
to film the
pictures.
whole
But to
thing?
sit there and just let your phone run, I don't know, it's crazy to me. I don't know.
Did your photography start there? Like when you used to sneak those disc cameras in, or
I don't,
did that kind of come later?
I was talking to someone about that the other day because I used to take I always loved taking pictures as a kid, and my mom would get mad because if we had a camera that had film in it, I was going to run it out.
Right.
And we'd shoot, like me and my brother racing BMX or jumping. I'd try to take pictures through the wheels, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
It's funny you say that. Robin also just said he used to race bikes too. Ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Right?
get into that. I used to. Heck, 48, I'm racing again.
Woohoo!
I'm terribly slow, but
Right.
I'm back out and doing it. And it's fun. There's guys older than me. I mean, there's one guy out there named Brian Strain that I think Brian's in he smokes me.
Do you know Wild Bill?
Oh yeah, Bill Ramsey
Yeah.
smokes me too.
He used to work for me.
I stare at these guys' backs all the way around the track, and then they're usually at the finish line waiting to see if I'm even going to make it without passing out. Because when I first came back, it was, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to die on this thing. But
So photography kind of got started when you were...
it was something I liked to do. But what really what really prompted me to want to shoot again was Chet Smith.
Uh-huh.
I would just, Chet was, who wasn't Chet shooting?
Right.
He was shooting everybody.
Right.
And I was like, that looks, that's some incredible stuff.
And he's back. He's been shooting a lot lately.
Yeah, I actually hung out with him over the weekend, and last concert I actually took pictures at before I ever actually started shooting was Rat down at the Juke Joint in '99. I had this little Kodak digital. I just taking pictures because it's Warren DeMartini, my freaking favorite guitar player.
Right,
it wasn't like I'm trying to be Mr.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I saw, I was like, man, Chet's it just inspired me to actually get decent gear
To think about
to
it.
learn how to use that gear. Because
Right.
I bought a semi-decent camera, and like a lot, I thought, well, that's 90% of the battles. I've got a decent camera. No. It's like buying a good oven. You're not going to make you a good cook just because you got a decent oven. Right. So I had some I shot some stuff, and I'm like, holy cow, these are terrible. These I wouldn't delete. I'm just going to erase this whole memory card.
Right.
And I kept working at it, and Chet would give me some pointers and stuff, and he was a huge inspiration. Him, and then there's another photographer named Anthony DeAngio. He right now he's I was going to forget the guy's name. Country artist. He's his tour photographer, and he's from this guy's from England. And I started seeing a lot of his work and was just blown away by it. And those two had a lot of huge influence on me.
Yeah.
And still do.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then I just started shooting portraits and landscapes, and just kind of was one of those things. I shoot when I want to shoot, and when I don't, I hate to sound like a jerk, but when someone's like, hey, I want you to come and do this, I'm like, well, I'm not in the mood to shoot, so I don't want to. It's nothing personal.
Right.
I'm just not in the mood to do it, so I'm not going to do it. So I never wanted it to be a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted it to be something I can put away at any moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's
kind of how I still see it.
Yeah, I think that is so like the way that a lot of those kinds of things go, whether it be cooking or photography or whatever. It's like as soon as you have something you really enjoy doing, because I really love cooking, but I worry about whether I want to be a cook compared to me loving cooking.
Yeah, I got some friends.
Then all of a sudden it becomes work.
Right.
I got some friends that I'm sure you guys do too, that they cook stuff better than any restaurant in town.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, just start a restaurant. And they're like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just come over and eat when I'm cooking.
We've talked about multiple times because he cooks so well and throws some things together that are so amazing, and you've never tasted it like that before. And it's like, if I worked in a restaurant and had to make 75 of these in a row, would I enjoy this? And he doesn't know the answer to that question.
Yeah. I'm going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out and see if that's what you want to do, because you're so good. And
well, that's the good thing is you are in a position to find out.
Yeah.
And at least you're going to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did toy with that idea of maybe I want to try to do photography a little, but no.
Yeah.
I mean, what's funny is I don't consider myself a professional. I never will, but I want my stuff to be as good. And it's not, but I strive to be at that level, even though I'm not ever going to say I'm a professional photographer.
Some people beg to differ with your work. You've had some shots that are pretty primo, and I'm going to talk about this real quick right now. Joshua Poole says, Mike took my all-time favorite photo when I was in Pearlandra.
Nice. Thank you, Josh.
And then also Tom also says, I call it Chet-fluenced. Anyway, but I also wanted to put this picture up here. You took some really good photos of Elvis when he was in Verbing Nouns.
Yep.
And
very
Mama Gail,
very talented kid.
Yeah. And Mama Gail actually had you do a print of one of them.
Yep.
And that's not the photo I have here, but one of your photos of Elvis was actually used by Heil Sound. These microphones, Heil Sound.
I don't know if that's his photo.
It is. No, the second one is. You'll see.
Oh.
I've got it right here. This photo right here. The second one is him.
Yeah, that second one.
The one on the right
shooting
is
that
Mike's.
one.
Yeah.
The one on the right is Mike's photo. The one earlier is actually Elvis's girlfriend at the time's dad who
Yeah,
took that picture. We actually have that photo on this door over here. But that second picture, they said then and now because that's a Finn from Heil on the left microphone. And then that microphone on the right that Elvis is singing on was actually made for him by Bob Heil's wife.
Really?
Yes. And so they found this picture, and this was actually an advertisement.
They owe me money.
Oops.
They owe me money.
So
yeah, they probably do.
Just FYI, but they left your watermark on there and everything. But I thought, I mean, that's a great photo.
That's one of my favorite shots of him.
It's a great shot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Heil advertisement.
And he's playing Stevie Newman's guitar.
I mean, that.
Yeah.
One of the things I always liked about, I mean, you know, he didn't pull any punches on stage.
Yeah.
You know, you see a lot of kids that perform, and well, heck, you see a lot of adults, and I would be one of those just like, man, Elvis got up there and he's rock star.
And it was wild because I never saw it coming. Like I worked with them every week as a band. We actually worked together a couple hours, several hours on at least once a week for a year.
For a long time.
Before I was even comfortable letting them play live because I just was like, we need to like try to actually get good instead of just being.
Didn't want to just be a cute kid
We
band.
don't want to be forgiven for being a kid band. And so we worked really, really hard. But my point is there was so many things that he, I didn't know it was coming. Like when in rehearsal, you know how rehearsal always is, no matter what band you're in, you're not really putting on a full show when you're rehearsing.
No.
Generally speaking, bands don't do dress rehearsals, you know.
No.
Unless you're planning some kind of big tour or whatever. So you just sort of do your thing, you go through your songs, and then something always kind of happens when you take the stage that's a little bit different than the rehearsal space. So
when you got a crowd and stuff,
everything.
I mean,
everything.
It was like I was telling the high school, and the curtain opened and everyone's down in front. I'm like, I've seen this on MTV.
Yeah, yeah.
What do I do? What do I do?
Great.
And
do I point and pose? And
Right.
That's exactly what you do.
As soon as you see a camera, you go.
It's like, what do I do now?
Right.
But yeah, he would just. So I was with him all the time when they rehearsed, and then all of a sudden he'd get up on stage. I'd be kind of nervous just to make sure he has a good show, but. He would just blast out right from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm even sitting out there like, who the hell is this? Like, I didn't know that was coming, you know, just the way he would.
Well, that's what I thought the first time I saw them play. I was just like, wow, I mean, this seems seasoned.
Yeah. Because they were. Like, even though they were children, they were seasoned by having these intense 3-4 hour rehearsals every week for a year before they did their first show. That's advice to bands out there. Maybe rehearse for a while.
Like me and Kelly and Steve and Craig, we would literally practice like 4 or 5 days a week for like 4 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. We played all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was doing voice lessons with him at the same time, and mostly because he was in that stage. When I first worked with him, he was 11. In that first photo on the left, he was 12, and then that later photo you took, he was about 14. So his voice wasn't quite getting lower yet. So we still had all these fun high notes to work with. And we had so much fun working on some of his stuff. But he was such a natural that it's like all I needed to do was just push him a little bit like this, like the form of the beautiful pottery was already done. I just had to smooth the edges a little bit.
You just had to set the wind a little.
He was so easy to work with. He listened to what I would say. He'd think about it for a second, and then he would do it. And I was just like, geez, pizza. I mean, like, freaking, the kid was phenomenal. Bono was the same way, but his attention span was just a little shorter. That's all.
Me. My attention span's terrible.
Right?
And I'm stubborn. I know how it's going to need to be done, not you.
Yeah.
Right.
Even when I'm wrong, and I'm like, okay, I was wrong, but I was still right.
Yeah, if my two kids ever put a band together like Oasis, Elvis is definitely Noel and Bono's definitely Liam.
Oh, totally.
And they're going to end up hating each other.
Right.
Yeah, probably to some extent.
Or at least fighting. Now that like Bono's getting bigger and they can actually, you know.
But Elvis will be the brains and Bono will be the showman.
Jules says, "Hi everyone. You're looking good, Dan."
Thank you.
She singled out you for that.
Yay.
What about me?
And yeah. Robin is saying, "Great show, guys. Rain's knocking out my Wi-Fi. Have fun."
Hey, thanks for stopping by.
That's awesome. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes.
Yeah,
then.
they live down in the boonies of Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised they have internet at all. I've been to their house. It's
In 2022, Rain still messes with your signal. Like, what the? Can we fix this?
especially if you got T-Mobile.
Oh, yeah.
And T-Mobile, I was sitting in the parking lot at Mercy's, and it's like, well, I don't really have a good signal here at T-Mobile's. Thanks, T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Can you get a signal in town?
We use all the same towers. No, you don't. Apparently not. Apparently you don't.
What else?
What else? I was just going to say that. What else?
Oh, I didn't know. I just didn't know if you guys were going to ask me about the Princess
Yeah,
Bride.
yeah.
Yes.
Click back to camera
Absolutely.
4.
Going to camera 4 over here.
All right, so we got a few things that we always tell our guests to bring a little something that we can start the show with, and we also show it to you for the outro. So it's kind of like show and tell.
Right.
So Mike brought us the what is it? A cassette tape or a deck of cards?
It's a Princess Bride deck of cards.
Deck of cards.
It's a deck of cards, Princess Bride, and then
Which
we got
I've
the
never
little
seen.
the Volkswagen
I've
van
never seen that.
and the guitar.
You've
picks.
never seen it either?
Well, I've seen Princess Bride partially. I fell asleep, I have to say.
Maybe someone will start sending you letters from all over the country.
So this is where the story, yeah. So let's get into that Princess Bride story. I haven't seen it.
Well, I'm hoping somebody will eventually confess to this. And this started like 4 years ago. I just made some comment one time on Facebook. I've never seen The Princess Bride. I mean, I've seen it on, but I've never watched it. And then this friend of mine, Shara Smith, she's like, "Well, I cannot believe you've never seen The Princess Bride." So it kind of became this thing, just that thing between me and her.
Right.
And kind of became a running joke. And then other people started kind of chiming in. Well, one day I come home, there's a package from Amazon package. I open it up. It's Princess Bride on Blu-ray and a Princess Bride blanket. No idea.
Like, where did that come from?
I immediately thought, Shara sent this to me. I said, "Thanks for the gifts." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I told her, and she goes, "No, I didn't send that." I'm like, "Oh, that's funny." So I think I took pictures of it and posted, "Thanks to whoever sent this." Long story short, over the months, I ended up getting socks. I've gotten refrigerator magnets.
Oh, my God.
Shot glass. And then I started getting letters. Oh, I got one that said, "If you don't watch it, you can't drink Mr. Pibb anymore." So then I said, "Well, I'm not going to watch it." And then like a week later, I got a 6-pack of empty Mr. Pibb cans.
Empty.
Yeah, it's like someone paid like $10 to ship me empty
Mr. Pibb cans.
You're a mean bastard. To
Oh,
do
my
that.
God. How rude.
So then I started getting letters. And it was from Hawaii, Alaska, I think almost over every state. Someone typed up a letter and made a ton of copies and then sent them out to people. And then those people addressed it and sent them back to me.
Oh, my God.
And I've gotten like 75 of them.
What's in the
I
letters?
should have brought
Like,
the letter.
just giving you hell, or
you need to, it's going to be a bad life for you if you
if you don't watch Princess
You need to
Bride.
watch this, and then it's just made me more stubborn.
Have you watched it?
No. Not only no, but hell no. So another friend of mine is like, "Okay, what if we rent a theater?"
Was that knock?
That sounds like a knock.
Uh-oh.
Someone here?
Who is it? Come on. Go. Okay.
But what was I was going to say?
It's our next door neighbor, sounds like.
Uh-oh. Anyway. I'll finish my story real
Yeah,
quick.
please
And
do.
so,
I'm not
anyway,
sure why my next door neighbor
another
is
friend
knocking on the door.
he's like, "If I rent a theater and we do like $20 per person for a charity, would you watch it?" How do you say no to that?
Right. What charity, you know?
I'm like, sure. It
Yeah.
hasn't happened yet, but I can't say no to that.
Right.
Or if someone says if I watch it, they'll take me to Waffle House.
Ooh, see. Now we're talking.
No one's offered that yet either.
That's some real motivation.
Well, it is, but that stuff I can't be. I've tried not to eat so much of that stuff anymore. But
right,
cat Waffle House. Chet, after the other night, Chet messages me, sends me a picture of them sitting at Waffle House.
Yeah,
eat, and I'm like,
yum.
You are not
Damn
a nice
it.
person.
Just
Why are you doing this to me?
You want to order? You go to Waffle House if you're trying to watch things, and you just get like, can I just get eggs? Just plain eggs, maybe some bacon.
Yeah, I got to get the chicken melt.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
So anybody out there wants to throw some Waffle House my way, I can watch some Princess Bride, and then watch some Grease 2.
And you'll actually watch it to cleanse yourself. Is that what you said?
To cleanse my brain.
So, are you more of a Grease 2 fan than a Grease 1?
I don't. I'm honestly, Grease is a better movie.
Grease 1.
Obvious. Yes.
Like, you don't even have to put a 1 on there. It's just Grease.
Grease is a better movie.
Yes.
It's a better soundtrack.
Right.
But the cheesiness of Grease 2 is just so delicious.
Yes, I will agree with that.
Because it is so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing redeeming about it. And they couldn't have picked a better lead, Adrian Zmed.
Oh, I know, because he's so cheesy. Everything about everything he's ever done is cheesy.
And I never understood that he's supposed to be Michelle Pfeiffer's boyfriend, but he's dating the other girl.
Right.
So why is he mad that she wants to? Everybody's like, why are they talking about Grease 2?
Well, it's an ongoing thing here on the Screamers.
The story just makes no sense.
Because somebody said it earlier. I think Julia said earlier that they have a split in their household as well between Grease 1 and Grease 2, and so do we. Dan is a Grease 2, and I'm a Grease. Like, we have this split in our household. Like, which one is better? And it's so cool that this has both on it.
Got them both. There was one that had the musical in it, but it was a wrong region.
Oh, really?
It had the live Grease Live.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't watch.
Interesting. Haha.
Olivia Newton-John is Sandy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sorry, you can't beat Travolta. You can't
beat that movie.
You just can't beat the casting of that.
No.
And even though they're all cast, they look like they're in their 30s. And
of course, Stockard Channing was literally like 30 years old or something, 35. Yeah. But anyway, it was yeah. But shaped my freaking childhood. And what's funny is that is not a child's movie. Like, you would think it's a fun little musical, but no.
Yeah, when I saw my mom took. I love my mom to death, but my mom was very naive, about that kind of stuff. And we went and seen Grease. And I mean, as a kid, it goes right over your head.
Yeah. You just hear the music. And
then I don't watch Grease for like 10 or 15 years. And then as I get like 20, I watch Grease and I'm like, holy cow, this is a dirty movie.
It's so dirty, yes.
The lyrics and the songs.
I know. Just Grease Lightning alone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, we can't even. We'd probably get flagged if we quoted the lyrics.
Totally, we'd be like, "Oh, shut down."
I mean, you could play the song, but you can't quote it.
Yeah, don't use those words. So we have a couple of comments coming in here, a few comments here or there. Jared says, he said a few minutes ago, he says, "I'm glad to see the Grease tie-in with your shirt, but I'm disappointed at the lack of Princess Bride."
Hey,
it's over there. There it is, right there. There's Princess Bride there.
I've got all my Princess Bride stuff at home.
All your Princess Bride. That's amazing.
I've got a whole bunch of it.
I love it. Cindy Lucas says, I can't force myself to watch Grease 2. You should watch it, Cindy. Just watch it. That way you'll be part of the group here and you can have an actual...
You'll be singing Let's Bowl, Let's rock and roll.
I don't know Grease 2.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know Grease 2. I know Grease 1 like backward and forward, but I don't know Grease 2. We were playing as a boot over at the Riff, and the Betancourts were there, and it was like her retirement or her birthday, and Dan played Cool Rider on this out of the blue. He just pulled up the lyrics and had the chords on there.
And I missed that.
And he was totally just playing Cool Rider.
I envy anybody that can do that.
Well,
because I can't sight read.
It's not sight reading. It was just chords. But he knew the song.
Well, I can't even do that.
So he just banged out some chords. Ear. Yeah, same here. On piano, it's for me.
I wish it wasn't, but I've tried to learn to read music, and I'm like...
I can read music when it comes to, like, when I played flute, one note at a time.
Oh, I could sit and, like, figure it out, but I can't be one of those guys that just throws a chart in front of them and they blaze through the whole song. Like, I couldn't get through the first two things.
Yeah, it's kind of cockamamie. When it comes to piano sheet music, and I'm not sure that I think Dan can read some piano sheet music, but I'm when it's 5 flats and it's like all this. No, I don't know if he's there either. But when it's just got chords above the lyrics, he can just jam out some shit. And if you know the song, you can actually just jam it out. It's pretty cool.
You know, we were talking about pictures earlier, and actually one of my favorite shots that I've taken was of you.
Oh, yeah?
At the benefit for the officer.
Mm.
And it's like you got your arms out and back. I mean, it was I was like,
there were
this
quite
is a really
few
cool rock star pose. I totally dug that.
And the wind was blowing, and my hair was actually looking good in the blown wind. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, it was a cool picture.
Yeah, there were. I was gonna pull that one up too. There were a couple. I've used that one shot of me and Ben multiple times that you took that day. Yeah, but that was a cool. Yeah,
Jared will probably he'll attest to this. That's one of the. I mean, when I'm shooting, one of my goals when I'm shooting a band, I know generally we're shooting in clubs and stuff like that. I want a band to look like you're on I want it to look like you're not just in a club.
Yes.
And that's why I'm always I'm a total lighting. I just always
lighting. We talked about this the other night.
Lighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I want everything to. I don't want to have to fight it. Because I think we've had this discussion. People are like, well, I don't like lights in my face when I'm on stage. Well, then why are you up there?
Then why are you up there?
You're there to put on a show. I don't want to see a bunch of silhouettes.
Totally.
Jared's like, I knew he was going to get into this at some point.
Oh, absolutely. We talked about that a little bit at the Love Bomb show because they were lit up like firecrackers. It looked great. And multiple photographers like yourself have talked about these clubs that they just won't go to because there's no lighting. Yeah. Like you can't.
Well, I don't even like it as just a fan of watching live music. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll be sitting there, and if you're not within like 20 feet of the stage, you can just see a dark silhouette up there.
Right. And it just doesn't make any sense.
And the lights don't have to be shining directly into your face.
No.
You can spend a little time aiming, because back when I used to help out with Mr. Scary and other bands, those guys, when they would set up, they would sound check, and then it was get all the lighting right, make sure Bart's lit, make sure the guitar's lit, everyone, and so you can see them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, what happened to that? When did it turn into? Oh, I don't want anyone. I don't want anybody to see me.
And you can totally put lights down a little bit to where your face is still lit, but the actual burn of the bulb is here.
Yeah, move them and have them pointing down. Yeah. I mean, you can.
But at least if you got them now during the show, if you totally just have a moment where you want silhouette look, that's different. I mean, we're not talking about style.
Majority of the show.
Yeah. But when the majority of the show you can't see who's playing, it's like, this is stupid.
Yeah, when I'm watching a guitar, I know like someone's out there playing a guitar solo. I'm the guitar player. I want to see that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if I'm not like right on that stage,
you don't even know who's. Yeah, you don't even know who's doing it.
Yeah,
and it's like, we want to see the performers,
right?
Yeah. As photographers, but as fans.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I know I'm not the only one. I'm just.
Oh, Tara's.
I'm adamant
I'm just
about
willing
lighting.
to say it and take the.
I'm 100%
take
all
the
about.
mic's a jerk for saying that. I really don't care.
I've heard
Tara's a bulldog.
Too many people say, I don't like the lights in my face. You know what?
I mean, think of a Broadway. Someone said that on Broadway.
Oh, geez.
Right.
Oh, yeah. The whole crowd can't see.
I can't see the crowd with the light in my face. Right. That's why when you take the time to place it properly, you can still be lit and also see the crowd.
And not be so blind that you're going to walk off the end of the
You
stage.
don't want the piercing beam of whatever light you're using. Nowadays with LED, there's no excuse.
Oh,
like with LED, there's no excuse.
You don't have the power
there's
drain.
No,
you don't
there's
have
no
the heat.
Yeah. There's no piercing middle bulb or whatever.
Yeah.
You can just set it and you can actually dim them. You can just make them a little dimmer, whatever. But oh gosh, I could get on a rampage about this.
There's some people that do pay attention to that, and you see some good lighting. It's not just, but it was kind of one small reason I quit shooting so much, because I got tired of fighting it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I was having to, some places I was literally remote mounting flashes.
I was going to ask you about that.
Because because it's like, there's no front lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just like, I shouldn't have to do this.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's how I'm going to get what I want, because I demand a certain quality of photo from me that I want. And if I can't get it, it's frustrating.
So you added your own lights that night. Yeah.
Yep. I did it at cartoons, because they had the balcony. I had 3 flashes mounted, and they had little snoots, so they acted like spots. Mm-hmm. And it was a Parallander gig, and I said, did those things bother you guys going off? And they're like, no, we didn't even notice it.
Right.
but it lit them perfect.
And it made for great photos.
Yeah, the pictures, I was extremely happy. That was one of the few times I got home and went, holy cow, I'm really happy with this.
Nice. Right. Just by the way, Brian Betancourt says, I paid the neighbor to come over and keep Dan occupied for this portion of the conversation.
Is that when the lighting started, or did you talk about something
him?
else?
No, we started talking about lighting when you were outside talking to the neighbor. So, right on.
And that's just from as a photographer, but it's just a fan of music.
Yeah.
I shot a show at the Galois years ago. I'm not going to say what show it was because whoever lit it may have been local. Mm-hmm. But I shot the first 3 songs, then you're done. That's just how it is. You shoot the first 3 and you're out. Except for in this moment, it's like, hey, you can shoot the whole show. Because they had so many sets, costume changes. They were great to work with.
That's cool.
But I was just in the back watching the show, and I'm like, this thing's lit in a dim red. I can't even see the band from here. If I paid to see this, I'd be pissed. Because I can't even see anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And the Galois is a great place.
It's so intimate. You should be able to see everything.
You should be able to see it. So, I mean, there's not a bad seat in that place.
Right.
Balcony, back, you can be, if it's lit, you can see, you can tell who they're looking at. Mm-hmm. But the way it was lit, pretty much the whole show for that band, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and these are national acts. So this was a national touring, lighting guy problem. Mm-hmm. And, maybe the band told them to do that. But
right.
I'm like,
yeah, it's part of our mood,
like,
man.
I need you to shut up.
We're setting the mood. We're setting the mood for our music.
Yeah, maybe it's a new thing that just us Gen Xers just don't understand because we don't like change. So we want everyone to be lit like Foreigner.
Well, but if you hop on YouTube and you look up National Touring Acts, they're all lit.
Right?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna be. No one's gonna be okay with not being able to see a show they just paid $200 to see.
It's one of those things where I feel like there's no debate to this. There is an absolute right and wrong. There is a black and white. You need to see.
Sometimes opinions
people.
don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think there's. Yes, there is. Like even in the smallest, tiniest, and I don't want to name a bar, but one bar in town, even at the smallest, tiniest, when all you have is 8 behind you and 8 in front. Let's just say you just have 8 lights, like these little guys we have here. Just put white ones on the front and colors doing some fun stuff in the back, and you're good.
Just do that.
Don't have colors going like this the whole time where half the band is dim and you can't. Stop with the multiple flashing. If you don't have a proper light show, just leave the front ones on white and do some crazy shit in the back. Oh my God, I could get on a freaking tirade about this.
Yeah, that's how me, because it's a show.
It's a show, and if you don't have the money or whatever to for the expense of a proper fun light show like Tom does or Jared does here in town, just do something. But I need to see you.
Yeah, do something.
I need to see you, and that's about it.
I remember even Fugazi. That band's like nuts.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
And they were known to sometimes do shows that just had the white halogens from Home Depot. Literally 2 of them on a construction site type light, 2 of them on one side of the stage and 2 on the other. They would turn 4 bright white lights on with no flickering or dimming or moving or nothing. White lights, Fugazi.
Right.
That's all you got the whole show.
But you could see him.
Yep.
You could see him, yeah. But at least it was like a shtick. I mean, not only could you see him, but they were just like, fuck it. We don't need all the lasers and the bullshit. Right. And they would just literally play to white lights.
I mean, I love it. I mean, I love a good band. I love a good light show. I love a good...
Sure.
Absolutely.
A great visual.
Yes. But not if you don't have that, I just need to see you.
Well, and a lot of times you can... All the stuff to have, it's there.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like I saw a band.
That's funny.
It's been a couple years back, and I'm watching the guitar player, and he's playing a solo, and the front light is shining on his waist.
Yeah.
The whole night.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone couldn't have grabbed a ladder and a broomstick and just pointed the light up. Right. Said, that's where the guitar player is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
Always use yes. That's all I'm asking.
All I'm asking for is put the light where the person's going to be most of the night.
I don't want to see his pocket on his jeans. I want to see his face and his playing.
I don't need to see his belt buckle.
Yeah.
Or her belt buckle. Someone's got to have chimed up and said Mike's an asshole.
No. Actually, the comments are kind of quiet. But Joshua says, I'm best viewed in low light. Leave a little mystery, I always say. Nobody is there to see the bass player anyway.
Well, I've gotten some good shots of you, Josh. So
Yeah.
No, I always used to call, before I knew anything about music when I was in high school and stuff like this, I always saw bands with all these guitar players and whatever, and I just thought they were all guitar players. I didn't even know what a bass guitar was when I was like 14. I had no idea. They're all playing guitars to me. Just all guitars. No idea.
Guitar.
Yep. Didn't know anything about bass guitar, so...
Oh, that was me when I first started playing guitar. I'm like, oh, I can play a bass.
Right?
Not the way a bass should be played.
Right? Feel
Right,
ya. Yep.
right,
Yep. Yep.
Because, it's not uncommon where, a lot of failed guitar players became really, really, really average bass players. I almost said bass owners, not even qualified as bass players.
Right.
Because, someone who can play a bass the way, like Josh is a bass player.
Right.
Josh can play bass. I would never even try to do what those guys do.
You're kind of from the old school club, the old Rat and and all that stuff. What do you think about the grunge movement? Are you one of those guys that hate it or love it?
No. I like when Alice in Chains. The first time Alice in Chains, I saw their debut on MTV. That's when I was most heavily into guitar sounds. Mm-hmm. I was obsessed with guitar tones, and when I heard Jerry Cantrell's guitar tone, I was freaking floored. Mm-hmm. It's like probably when people heard Eddie Van Halen's tone the first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
This guy's tone is unbelievable, and it's only gotten better. I think he's one of the best songwriter guitar players in the last 30 years.
Right. Huh.
I love Jerry Cantrell.
Right.
But
and he's with Alice in Chains?
Yeah.
I don't know band names. I'm sorry. I apologize.
And I liked, I thought Nevermind was a decent album. And even I, at the time, being obsessed, growing up in the whole 80s rock thing, even I realized, man, a lot of these bands, this is just getting stupid.
Right.
Because I would buy all these bands that I didn't know. Because I was like, well, they're this genre. And I'm like, I can't even tell these bands apart.
Yeah, right. It got a little thick.
It got a little
towards the
heavy.
end.
Oh yeah, but I really didn't think the whole grunge scene. I'm like, this isn't gonna last long,
Right. Yep.
and it didn't.
No. Actually didn't. Kinda.
And I was like, you're gonna have 4 or 5 bands survive this. Unfortunately, with Kurt Cobain, it would have survived but Soundgarden still put people in seats. Pearl Jam put people in seats. Alice in Chains put people in seats. But then we lost, we lost all the singers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know, what the fuck. Jesus. Stop it.
But there was no tier of just countless bands that made big noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I had this kid I used to work with. He'd give me crazy, oh, your music's classic rock. And I'm like, yeah, it won't be long till yours is.
Right.
Right.
And now Alice in Chains is that's 30 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it, but it didn't have that. I mean, I only listen to music that depresses me for so long.
Well, I think what's weird too is, and so many different people I've talked to about these kinds of things and how passionate they can be about some bands that, I might just am like, nah.
And please, everybody chime in with your comments. Please talk to us.
I don't get anything out
Ben
of that
Pritchett.
band or whatever.
Fellow oaf Ben Pritchett. He's out of Kansas City. Me and him used to work together.
Oh, right on.
We're Hot Pocket buddies.
Hot Pocket
We
buddies.
used to eat Hot Pockets together all the time at work. Love that guy.
But I think there's still something huge to be said for whatever it was, the music you were listening to, say, from 7th grade to 12th grade. Those 6 years will usually be like, that's your go-to, like no matter what comes out ever. And they still are today.
Yeah.
So if you're a 7th grader in 84 and graduate in 89 or 90, whatever was happening then.
That's what is the thing.
And it's not necessarily just about style or who's more talented or it's not even about that. Sometimes it can be the stuff that's not actually that talent filled.
Oh, I love Faster Pussycat. Are they a good band? No.
Right.
Can they play that good? No.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
But it was what
And I think it's the same
mattered.
thing with grunge, because I've heard a lot of people who love, say, Eddie Van Halen or love Van Halen, but they just cannot stand bands like Nirvana or hell, even Foo Fighters that came kind of out of that, because they are just, it's not that they're stuck in their ways. It's not that they're a dummy that doesn't know any good. It's just, this is my sweet spot.
Yeah, these
and
are
these are the
jams, and
bands that are in my sweet spot.
Yeah, and if you called me to the mat and said, you can have your Alice in Chains or your Rat. Gotta go with the Rat.
It'll always be Rat for you.
And it's probably, and that's got a lot to do with, music is a soundtrack of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure.
Music is a time machine for me.
For sure.
It can take, music can take you from a depressed state and just lift you.
Yeah.
In a matter of minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
literally.
the right song. Yeah. Yeah.
Because even when bands like Collective Soul come out, when Collective Soul came out, I was like, yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to take, but I freaking love that band.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was because, they kind of hit the scene too around the time, everyone was dropping off from the 80s scene.
Right.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm still, Night Ranger, Rat, Judas Priest, Doc, and Motley. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I always will. But, Jerry Cantrell with Alice in Chains, that was the one band that I want to pull into that group of bands I will never let go of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah. There's definitely some that come later in life, for sure. But
Oh, yeah.
it's just wild how your little sweet spot,
Oh, yeah.
6 years of high school.
Oh, yeah. When I hear Kiss,
Yeah.
I just sit back and
Done
smile.
deal.
You're like,
It's like
going home right
we
now.
used to put makeup on and wrap foil around our arms, thinking we had Kiss.
I like that poster behind you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, you put it around your legs.
And I missed all that because I was fundamental Christian kid all throughout high school.
You
So
should have told him it was kids in Sunday school.
I know.
I actually taped,
It's not nights in Satan service. It's
I
kids in
taped
Sunday
bricks
school.
to my shoes.
Oh
So I
my
would
God.
Have, so I'd have platform Kiss
That's
shoes.
so good. I love that.
And I got in trouble because I spray painted them silver. My mom was
Bricks to his
livid
shoes.
because I ruined my shoes. It's like, dude, I'm trying to be Ace Frehley.
Julia says, luckily we don't have to choose one song or one genre. Viva la music, all of it.
Yeah,
Yes,
you gotta
I-
choose Grease too.
Grease one.
Shit,
As long as it's Grease
too.
too.
As long as it's Grease one.
But she makes a very good point.
Brian Betancourt says music is my drug of choice.
Absolutely. I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't say that as a joke. I mean,
Right.
I literally, music can take me from all kinds of mental
I
states.
totally
From
agree.
being completely bummed out to just.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
If you're it can change your day. It can make your day better. Absolutely, when you pick the right music.
Yeah, Julia says, totally agree with Dan on the time range of music discovery. I have a massive 7-hour playlist on Spotify that just covers my junior high years when
there's
I was
Jennifer.
12 to 14.
Right. Exactly. Yes. And so in that same vein, Brian Betancourt says Iron Butterfly. That was one of his.
Inagata Devita.
And
Slayer did a great cover of that, by the way.
So, and Cindy says, I wouldn't want to give up Rat or Alice in Chains.
And you don't have to.
There you go.
I see Jennifer McLean comment. She's another longtime friend of mine. We grew up in the same neighborhood.
Okay. Hi, Mike. What or who influenced your love of music?
My love of music started, like I said before, it started with Kiss. And Elvis and Kiss.
Really?
Because I listened to Elvis all the time. And I think I've told you guys this. The odd thing about that whole thing is ties through my uncle. His daughter, Gina, ended up married to a guy named Tony Brown, who was a Nashville producer and songwriter who signed Reba McEntire. Or he produced Reba. It's something like that.
Rewind. So I know exactly who Tony Brown is, and I know about Reba, but who did he marry?
He was married to my Uncle Harold that played with Loretta Lynn and all those people back in the day. He was married to her daughter.
Oh, wow.
His daughter.
Oh.
And when I was little, one time for Thanksgiving, they showed up at the house.
Oh, my.
And I knew his name was Tony Brown.
Yeah.
And he didn't mean anything
He's
to me.
a very famous producer in Nashville. Yeah.
Absolutely. He wouldn't know me if he seen me. I'm not
Sure,
trying
sure.
to imply that if I saw Tony, he'd be like, hey, Mike, I ain't seen you. He wouldn't know who I was. Because they've been divorced for over 30 years.
Was sup, uncle?
Yeah,
No.
but they were at the house for Thanksgiving one time, and I'm outside playing, and I asked him, I'm like, what's GS on your car for? And he kind of looks at me and goes, George Strait gave me this car. And I went, who?
Pardon?
Who's George Strait? And he goes, you don't know who George Strait is? I said, does he play rock? And he goes, no. I said, then why would I know about him? And he just started laughing.
That's
but he took me and my brother, went to see Raiders of the Lost Ark at the Petite 3 when we were
Oh my
kids.
God, that's great.
But in hindsight,
what a fun story.
I was all heavy metal then.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'd listen to some Neil Diamond on the side because you got to hide that tape. You can't let anybody know I'm a
Guilty
I'm a
pleasures.
metalhead. I don't listen to Neil Diamond.
Guilty pleasures.
But I wish when I got out of school, I would have called him and just said,
Yes.
hey, can I come and sweep the studio?
Oh, absolutely.
Get your coffee. That was when I started realizing how talented country artists were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always knew my uncle could play because he was an incredible guitar and banjo player. But then I started going like, hold on, these country guys can shred.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And then by the time I had this realization, I'm like, they were divorced, and I'm like,
You're like, damn it.
I ain't calling him. He don't really even know me.
My contact is gone.
But and maybe nothing would have came of it. But I could have possibly got to be around some of those talented musicians
certainly.
that existed at the time.
Yep.
Because I still follow him. I still follow him on Facebook and just kind of keep up with what he's doing. But he wouldn't know me if he saw me.
Right.
He would remember Gina, obviously, because they parted on good terms.
I mean, you could still totally write an email and be like, hey, so here's the thing. You could.
I could, but life's a little different now.
Right. I feel
Back then, I could have packed up and left.
Gotcha.
Now I can't.
Now you can't. Right. Gotcha. So just touching on this music thing, you've watched the show enough. You've heard us ramble on about our Sweet 16s. You remember? Have you heard about the Sweet 16? Okay. So, Dan, why don't you talk about what the Sweet 16 is? And it's all about music is the soundtrack of our life.
Right.
And so, why don't you talk about the Sweet 16 and where that came from?
Yeah, well, it's just...
Because I want to reiterate it to people who are new watching tonight as well.
In a nutshell, it's just basically creating a list. Of course, it could be turned into a playlist, but if it's available on Spotify. But like the top 16 songs that represent your entire life. But that's all you get.
16.
Because my dad actually started this idea one night drinking alone at his house in St. Louis. And he was going to try to make the top 10. Like, these are the top 10 songs of my whole life. Like,
Right.
And you only get 10 slots because you just... And so it really makes you pluck people off a list that you couldn't... You just can't believe...
That'd be hard to do.
I know. You can't believe I'm gonna
songs.
take this song away, but this other song's more important, etc. Well, once he got to 10, he just couldn't. He'd like, oh, this one has to be on it. And
right.
And there's another one that has to be on it. Long story short, that turned into 16 is where he finally cut himself off. And so he ended up with a Sweet 16 list. He has since passed away, but he recorded these songs onto like a CD where he could talk. And you give an explanation of why this song is on your list.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And so this was old school before there was even the technology we have now. He was recording literally into a CD burner, like with a little 1/8-inch jack microphone.
I used to do that with cassettes. I'd make cassette mixes for friends, trying to get them into other bands. I'm like, okay, so this is Great White.
And the freaking DJ would talk over it when you're trying to record it.
But he was the DJ talking to his friends.
Oh, I see.
I remember
listen to this next band. It's really good.
You got Fool's Face here.
Yeah.
One night, I literally stayed up all night because they were supposed to play L5 on the radio so I could record it. And I was up all night and they didn't play it. I was so pissed.
So pissed off.
It's like, I'd call them, you guys going to play it? Yeah, we'll get to it.
So we highly recommend everybody puts together their own Sweet 16.
Jennifer, that sounds like something you would really love to do.
Yeah, and
she's like Jennifer says, I could never narrow down to only 16.
I'm asking you to
I
do
know,
it.
But that's the whole point.
I'm asking you to do
Jennifer.
it.
That's the whole point.
I'm going to do it, and I'm asking you to do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
and it's good for if you have children, family, relatives, whatever. It's also posthumously wonderful because
what I was getting at is that he finally cut himself off at those 16. He couldn't quite get it in 10. He did those recordings. We have those recordings, so we've kind of made it a tradition to go out to his grave on the celebration of the day he passed away, which is June 20th. And we just sit around and play his 16 songs, and it's also got his intros on it where he's explaining.
he's actually talking.
Here's why this song is on my list, and it's invaluable. It's
powerful.
You know? And the fact that you can't narrow it down, referring back to Jennifer's comment.
Yes.
The fact that you think about struggling to get it narrowed down to 16, that's actually the beauty of it.
That's the beauty
Right.
of it.
Because you
It really forces.
I got
like,
goosebumps. I'm thinking of it right now, and I'm
you have
goosebumpy.
really got to make sure that this song, because you only got 16
Right.
slots.
And
And it's an interesting exercise.
Yeah, it's
and
easy. It's easy for me to hand you 50 CDs and go, "I love
certainly.
Yeah, right,
Yes.
right. But
Yep.
which songs?
And
yeah.
why?
And we
16
also
songs and why?
And we also, since he's passed away, and my brother and I have worked on it, and Tara's worked on it, my brother's wife, there's a lot of people that have kind of started putting together their list of 16. You are allowed to change it, obviously. Because like
As time progresses.
a song I would have had as my number one even 5 years ago, I don't think would be my number one anymore, considering either what I've heard since then or where my life has gone personally. Right. Maybe a song that was super important to me 5-10 years ago actually is not even on the list anymore. There's something else that's more important. So if you're younger like we are, it can like every 3 years go revisit it and be like, is this still my number? Because it's been wild in my dad's situation, because now, just because we can't do anything to change it or even talk to him about, the 16
it's
he
locked
left
in.
us is locked in.
However,
That's pretty cool.
This is, kind of where he was at that time. If he was still alive, because he died in 2006, if he was still alive, I'm sure half of
probably
the
would have
songs on
changed.
his list wouldn't even be on it anymore. But that's where he was then, and it's such a way to stamp.
And that's almost something like every year you want to purposely revisit.
Like,
Almost
just revisit
every
it.
year.
So when that fateful day comes, this is where you
this
were
is where you
accurate
were then.
at that time.
Instead of doing it now and then you die 25 years from
Right.
now, it's like, no, you got to revisit it.
Because you're gonna, it's really neat that you guys do this at his grave. Because a few years ago, I was thinking, this not trying to be morbid, but I was like, what would be really cool is that at cemeteries, if there was some kind of visual.
I have
or
said
music
this.
that people could just come up and hit play.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they could see photos and hear.
Yep. Oh my God.
yeah.
See, look at the goosebumps.
It's probably coming.
Yes.
It's like, that would be so neat.
I have said it so many times. I actually said it the last time we were at your dad's grave. I was just like, if there was like a button people could just come here and push and do this whole thing. I said that.
I'm sure it's around the corner.
It
It'd
has
be
to
the same
be.
thing they have like at McDonald's now. When you go inside the store, they
it's
have
the
a
kiosk.
big touch tone or touch.
Touch screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if graves just had one of those,
Right.
press here to start.
Yep.
And then you could go to audio, video.
Jennifer says, Mike, we will have to discuss. Interesting idea. Right? And Brian Betancourt also says, love this Sweet 16 idea. Now,
I really like that.
We've
We've
talked about
mentioned
it
it
multiple times.
a few times on
We've
this.
challenged people to do it, and we're challenging you. And it's just, it's not something you need to present to us.
No,
or
I know,
anything.
but
it's
that's
just
something
something
for
for
the
your
people,
own
your
life.
loved ones.
Yep.
It's a real personal thing. Like I've actually got my intros and my songs going. So I've already spoken my intros, and I've already got, I still need to get my last handful of songs in order and get them all recorded. But nobody knows. No one's heard my intros yet. Like it's a real personal thing. Like once I'm done, I don't care if somebody knows what the list is,
Right.
especially with my explanations. But it's a very like, you got to just look into yourself and just be like, is this song really going to make the list? Or is there something a little bit? Interestingly, some of the ones that are on my Sweet 16 are not songs that I like listen to all the time.
Right.
No, but they're
Right.
significant.
It's not
But
just
they matter.
it's not just a favorite song. It's
Right.
like this song hits what needs to be hit if I was going to try to represent myself in 16 songs.
Wow.
So
I actually tried to do that once with a girl I had a thing for. I'm like, these are the songs these are the songs that remind me of you.
Yes.
yeah.
That's wonderful. Mixtapes. Oh, the old
Mixtapes.
mixtapes, man.
It totally failed.
Well, you know.
You think so? Completely?
Oh, trust me, it failed.
Yeah, the relationship probably failed, but
No, they never even got that far.
oh, okay.
I'm terrible at reading the opposite sex. That's why I'm so lack tact, because
Lactact? What?
you got to spell it out for me. I
He
mean,
lacks tact.
I lack
I lacked tact.
I have no tact because I
lack tact. Okay.
It's such a disease.
I got you. You know what? what I say to that is that I think that when it comes to tact, yes, I think we should be minding our P's and Q's when it comes to tact. But I also agree with humor and knowing we're all flawed human beings. Like I think I think that sometimes when I hear just random people talking about, well, that was the red flag. Well, why? Because, sometimes a red flag is a real red flag, and sometimes it's just because he drank Pepsi instead of Coke.
Right.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
So there's this red flagness, and it's okay if you, when you're dating out there, like, I don't know what it's like to date. I have no idea, but especially at 50 something, but if you have this tiny little window of what you want that person to be, that's cool. That's awesome. Have your boundaries. But maybe if you understood humor and maybe if you understood flaws and maybe if you might find the person of your dreams if you're just like, okay, I don't have to be so rigid.
Yeah.
But there are certain red flags that are just absolutely like, fuck that guy or fuck that girl.
Well, but I
get that.
Even same, but a little different than that is when you're talking about the music thing, the Sweet 16 thing.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of went on a tangent there.
I love it.
Well, there's a lot of that could potentially be ironed out just based off of the music. We've had this idea in our hands since 2006. My dad passed away in 2006, so we've been not only doing our own Sweet 16s, but we've been talking about it forever. And the idea of, we've even hashed all the way through the concept of having an app. This is another one of those awesome ideas that I hesitate to talk about
because someone else will do it.
Because someone else will end up doing it.
Right.
But
I've got a good one of those.
But if it was an app that was my Sweet 16 or whatever you brand it as, if you got enough users, it'd be like another social media app. But if you had enough users that would fill in their 16 songs, and of course you could connect it all to Spotify because most of it's going to be there.
People would totally love to just
listen
if you
to
other people's thing.
And then also if you wanted to do searches that were just like, how many people have Leonard Cohen as their number one song?
Right.
And then those people come up. Well, you're going to probably have a lot in common with those 6 people that just showed up in that search.
Right?
Oh, yeah. When someone says Rat's their favorite band, I want to know.
You're like,
yeah.
Man.
If you could put in criteria of like who has Rat in their top 5.
Right.
Of their 16, who has Rat up in above 5?
It needs to be number 1 or you got to go.
That's it.
Right. See, that's that rigid thing you were just talking about.
But
that narrow little window.
But that search result you would get on a big enough social media site. It would have to get kind of big.
That's a good idea.
You would probably instantly, especially if it like had a little dating side crumb to the app where, hey, there's this hot chick in Colorado that thinks Rat's number 1. You might be able to just
let's talk.
Shoot her a message.
Right?
And be like,
let's talk.
And it's actually likely that you would end up hitting it off with an app like that, even in dating, than it would be just to do these random dating apps where everybody's lying about their fucking shit.
Well, that's one of the things I've decided years ago. I will never date again. No, I'm serious, but you got to hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Because dating is just 2 used car salesmen trying to hide all the dents. That's
exactly.
all dating is.
100%.
I will get to know somebody and be friends with. If it evolves, then great. But dating, go away.
Right.
Because I'm flawed beyond belief.
Everyone is.
So I'm not gonna hide it.
Yeah.
But you're talking about these weird ideas, and I do not expect anybody here, you guys, to believe this. But I got a witness. In the 90s, I need to remember where it happened. We were coming back from a job site down in Reed Springs. And, it was the days of AOL. AOL is the porthole to
I still have an AOL email address.
I don't use it, but I have one. And I was telling this guy I work with, Gary, I said, it would be I think it would be a cool website. He's like, what? I said, it'd just be neat to have a website where when someone passes away, You can post photos. Anybody that knows him can post their photos, their memories, share experiences, blah, blah. And he goes, huh, yeah, it might be kind of neat. And then we just forgot about it.
Right?
Years and years later, I go visit Gary in Columbia, and he's like, do you remember telling me about your memorial site where people can post pictures and messages? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, you do realize that's what Facebook and MySpace is now, right? And I'm like,
damn it.
Not that I would have done anything and been successful.
Yeah.
Right. That's basically what it is. They're just, everyone's alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and even when you do see people die, a lot of times their page will start filling up.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one thing I like that I can still visit those things.
Yeah. And there's even a factor, like if you go to your Facebook and if you haven't like touched your settings on Facebook for a while, you can totally go back and see, and it's like it literally has a setting. Who do we contact when you die? Who has access to your Facebook when you die? There's actually a setting now.
Yeah, I actually set it up the other day so my daughter.
I set it up for him.
So my daughter can take it over.
It's like really funny because we've had that happen. We've all lost friends recently, and it's like, I can't get into his Facebook now, and blah blah blah. But then there's a whole thing like, if you pass away, this person has access to your Facebook because Facebook is so freaking important to everybody now.
Well, it's interesting that.
Jennifer says, "Hey, ladies listening, Mike is awesome."
Thank you. Gotta love Rat though.
Well,
if you can't tell me the second song on Rat's EP, you're just lying. So you think you're tough, just in case you need some help,
right?
But a friend of mine, I don't know if you guys ever knew a guy named Jerry Brom, passed away last year.
I don't know that name.
We knew each other. We went to Willard together, but he was a lot older than me. I didn't know him, but I got to know him a lot in 2000. Super nice guy, and he passed away. But I was able to keep in touch with him a lot on Facebook because we kind of you don't see so many people when you get married and stuff. But he passed away, and I still go and just peruse his page just to look at the pictures and the memories and read his. It's like the Kindle version of your idea.
Yeah.
I just read it because there's no music and stuff.
Right.
That's one of the few good things that have came from all the social media stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we all know the downsides of a lot of it now.
Yeah, right.
But I that Sweet 16 thing is a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, I
love that idea.
It's really wild to do it, to have worked on it myself now, because of course I love all kinds of music, all kinds of styles.
Me
and
too.
I've just been in and out of so many. At one time I was completely into bluegrass music when I was 11, 12 years old. I played the banjo. I was a banjo competitor when I was 11 years old. Yeah. And then I got into Christian music and Christian rock music. Then I got into regular rock music when Pearl Jam and them were hitting. And then, so I've been bounced all over that. When I'm really sitting there going, what 16 songs are the most important?
Yeah, it'd be easier if I could pick by genre. Can I just pick by genre?
No.
I know that's cheating.
No, you
16
can't.
songs of this genre, 16
right.
Oh, like 16 separate songs in each.
Well,
each
you could
That
do that
would be
because
totally cheating,
part of it
though.
is inspired by that. What was the John Cusack movie?
Say Anything.
Where they did the list all the time, worked at the record store. Him
gosh.
and
High Fidelity.
High Fidelity.
Yeah.
And they were always like top 10 murder songs or top 10 funeral songs. And they always did those top 10 lists. You still could incorporate that whole thing because it's super fun to be like, well, here's my top 10, whatever breakup songs compared to makeup songs. That's a great list. Try to compare those.
Breakup songs. Yeah. Who did the song "I'm All Out of Love"? I'm so lost with that. Was that Air Supply?
Air Supply. Yes.
You know why I hated that song?
I love them
because when we go roller skating as kids, when they played that song for couple skating, I always had to leave. So I'm like, I hate this band. It always reminded me if I don't have a girlfriend.
Aww.
I can't go couple skate by myself. So I hate these guys. I'm still mad at them.
Still mad at Air Supply?
Yeah.
I saw them here in town
freaking
when I was
scarred me
15 years old.
So every time that song would start and the lights would dim, I'm like,
You're like,
now I gotta go.
F this song.
I gotta go stand on the sides and watch all the happy couples.
11-year-old
I'm gonna go
couples.
get a pretzel. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, go get a pretzel.
I hate these happy.
9-year-olds.
These guys are gonna be broken up by the end of the night.
14 years old.
Well, I got a hot pretzel. What do you got? You got
Yeah.
a broken heart. Yeah, well, I can skate backwards. Can he?
Right.
Because we'd always laugh at the girls or the guys where the girl had to be the one skating backwards because the guy couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And all she
she
did,
would lead him
all
on.
I would do when I was skating backwards was just this. Like when you get your skates and you just do this. I could never do that whole cool thing. But if it was like backwards, it was like, just do this. Just do that.
In and out.
I can't.
Just do the powder eights that they
That's
do
it.
skiing.
Something like that.
On the snow skis. But that's just air supply. Just, oh my God.
Yeah, I told that story. Was it Monday Morning Medication? I told a story about Def Leppard when they first came out because my 6th grade girlfriend had a crush for the lead singer.
Oh, yeah.
And you texted her.
Old Joe Elliott.
And that was, Joe Elliott was like, I am fucking done with that guy. I hated him. To this day, even when I was in Machine Gun and had to sing some of their songs, I was like, fuck this.
I remember getting mad in high school because I opened there was a guitar magazine in my house. It was Guitar for the Pregnant Musician, and there was a picture of Richie Sambora in it. Mm-hmm. And this girl I liked, she was looking through it. She goes, "Oh, he's hot," and I just like. So I told her you're late, and I'm like, "You're so mean." And you like take it personal.
Oh,
and at 16.
Oh, absolutely.
At 16, I think I've got all. I'm an adult. I'm mature. I got all figured out.
Totally.
Oh no, I'm bent because she said the dude in Bon Jovi's hot.
Oh God,
That's the same thing.
I'm 50 years old, and anytime I hear Def Leppard come on the radio,
Like-
I'm just like, ugh.
Turn that shit off.
Still bitter.
Yeah, when something takes a chunk of your heart, you don't forget about it.
That's right.
That's why I hate Air Supply.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a fond memory of the song "Waiting for a Girl Like You" from Foreigner. So every time that comes on, I won't go into the story here, but every time that song comes on, I'm like,
Wow.
because you're 15 and that shit is real.
Oh, yeah.
like when you're 15, and that song is actually not on my Sweet 16, but it's a runner-up. It's like a honorable mention.
Oh yeah, when you get your heart crushed.
But
at
that
15.
song will always be like, when you hear that, and you hear that start of it, you're like,
It's like,
all right, yeah,
I'm okay.
I like this. This is cool.
Go back to the camera 4. All right, so let's talk about the Volkswagen.
Yeah, what's up with the Volkswagen bus with the
little
checkers?
Volkswagen Hot Wheel.
Nice.
Yes.
That's actually a guy named Damon Dayton out of California. There's a whole bike scene now called Bike Life. It's got a lot of kids all over, like especially East and West Coast, back out on bikes. I mean, they're trading PlayStations away, selling them to get bikes, and they're just out riding in huge groups and stuff. And Damon's a huge part of that with SE Bikes. And Todd Lyons was a former BMX champion. And I raced BMX growing up as a kid, and it was a huge, my mom drugged me and my brother all over the Midwest racing. And a few years ago, I was like, when I'd go out and shoot photos at the local track here, Spokes BMX, to help promote the track, I saw some of the other guys riding and stuff that were older than me that were still racing. And I'm like, well, heck yeah, I think I'm going to do this. And I'm like, well, I always dug SE stuff, so I like, let's see what's out there. Mm-hmm. And I learned, it's like, well, SE's they're still making race bikes, been in business over 40 years. And now they're making these, Rob and there was these two, that's Rob and this rap guy, Rob and Big. Remember those guys? I never knew them. Well, they were a fan of SE, and they asked SE, could you make a big version of a PK Ripper race bike? But they wanted like a 29-inch one. If Robin Big was the name of the show, that's what it was.
Okay.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, we could make those for the show. Well, he made them, and then everyone just went crazy. Where can we get these bikes? And it just kind of started from there. Well, the whole bike I've seen, I bought a couple bigger bikes, started riding again, just because it's just a lot. It's a lot of fun even at my age. And I've got my daughters riding with me and stuff. But the story of the Hot Wheel is Damon. He customizes Volkswagens. Well, he did that Volkswagen all SE, and so could they take it to ride outs with everybody? And Hot Wheels saw it and actually decided to make a replica of it. And it's like, how cool is that you did such a cool job on something that a company like that, it's like, we want to make it.
Right.
It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, like writing a song and Rat's like, hey, that's great. Can we record it? Like,
Yeah.
You're like, yes, please.
yes, you can.
Yes.
Can I have 1%?
No, that's totally wild.
And it's just something. I haven't bought a Hot Wheels and I'm 52. I haven't bought a Hot Wheel in 40 years.
Right.
But it's like, I can't have the real one, so I'll just buy that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. And what about the guitar picks?
I'm a guitar player.
He's a
Right.
guitar
Who
player.
who doesn't care?
Always in your
Every
pocket.
guitar player, because those are the picks I have to have.
Okay.
I hate every guitar pick but those.
They're kind of heavy.
Yeah, they're really. There's a little Dunlop jazz picks, but when I'm at someone's house, I don't want their pick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You always got to have a pick in your wallet
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
it's got to be those. So when I go to my friend Sean's house, he's got my picks there in case I forget them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
Nice.
Like, so.
That's cool. That's cool. So you're going to work on your Sweet 16, right?
Yeah, that's going to be difficult.
It's very difficult. I've still got a notebook.
I'm like stressed out about it.
Yeah.
You've got to
at the
start
moment.
putting together a
I've still
club.
got a notebook that has like 30 songs, and I have 16 there, but I have all these other songs. And still to this day, that was probably a year ago that I came up with that list. And I'm like, here's 16, here's all the others. And I'm still to this day, like I listen to it I have a list on Spotify. I'm like,
Putting the list together in and of itself, that can be one thing, but really what makes it the special list is to have those
The narration.
the
explanations.
narration.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's the narration of why they made it to your list and the story behind it, because that's when it gets really intense. Because there's some songs on, say, even my dad's Sweet 16 that I'm just like, what the hell did that come from? But when he explains it in the
Right.
beginning,
You
you're
get
like,
it.
oh, that makes sense, But I would have never thought, if I would have just a guess what his top 10 or 16 songs favorite would have been, I
Right.
would have never put this one on it, whatever
Well,
it is,
let me-
until he explains it.
Let me tack on to this a little bit. Make it now that are you done? Or are you
What do you mean?
have you done your once you've done your 16, pick someone who's close to you in your life. Doesn't
Yeah.
have to be your spouse, could be your family member or friend. Pick 5 songs and why they remind you of that person.
Yeah, that'd be cool
Yeah.
to turn the tables on
Yeah.
it a little bit.
So this is when I hear these songs, this is what I think of you.
Right.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
this is why.
Yeah. Yeah. 5 extremely important people in your life. Who have they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could be one person, but 5 songs.
Oh, I see.
Or it could be 5 people in one song.
Yeah, you can.
Right?
You can do it any way you want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be killer.
Yeah. We got a couple
I
comments.
think it would just just add so much flavor to our relationships.
So
all kinds of
Jennifer is
relationships.
coming in with some good questions here. She says, "What is the cheesiest band you love that you don't like to admit?"
Cheesiest band that I love that I don't like to admit.
Well, you mentioned one earlier.
Faster Pussycat?
No, it was something different. Anyway, go ahead.
I've named a lot of cheesy bands.
Go ahead.
Oh, gosh, that's a tough one.
The cheesiest band that you don't like to admit.
Shudder to Think is probably one of the most. When people hear it, and they look at me like I'm insane. They're like, "You like this?" I'm like,
Right.
"Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
But I don't even know if it's cheesy. I guess you could find.
We have to know the definition of cheesy.
Yeah,
Like and cheesy is different in everybody's head.
Right.
What's like
Yeah,
Air
but-
Supply to me is freaking phenomenal, but it's cheesy to other people.
Yeah,
Right.
it's. Jennifer, do you care to elaborate a little bit? If
What's
she's
the
still with us?
cheesiest band? I'm
I
not
think
sure.
she's just using cheesy. It says global,
like global, like
somebody-
you're
It's just like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
B-52s.
It's kind of a different way of asking.
B-52s.
Yeah.
All right.
B-52s are
50-50.
cheesy, but they're freaking
they're
great.
so fun.
It's a good one. Yeah.
So fun. That's a good example. Yeah.
I mean, I remember Rock Lobster from this old 70s Saturday Night Live era, and just like, this is weird. I mean, Devo.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Devo's cheesy, but Devo was brilliant.
Yeah. Devo was actually
Or
really
Oingo
good.
Boingo.
Oh yeah. Like
I mean, who knew Danny Elfman was going to become what he did?
no kidding.
The guy that wrote Weird Science.
Yeah.
Woo!
People to this day will still go science when like this with this whole Fauci shit and all that.
Dolby.
People will still go science because of that
Great
freaking
song.
shit. Yep.
And I don't know if people think Justin Bieber is cheesy, but I have the Bieber fever.
Yeah, we've got Bieber fever.
I just never.
I love it.
Yeah, I just never. Mike says I just never.
I just never.
But like cheesy pop stuff, I liked Debbie Gibson back in the day.
Yeah.
And one of the things I always actually had a lot of respect for her because she actually wrote her own material.
Yeah. Right. I
But-
agree with that because
and
I
she
didn't
was-
know that at the time. I
And
didn't
she
give a
was-
shit.
And she was cute.
And she was super cute, right? We have another question from Jennifer.
Partridge
She's like,
Family.
so another question. Did you have a man crush on any band member during your teen years?
No, but I thought when I said Warren DeMartini, I just thought, man, that he is so cool. I just thought, man, this guy's like John Wayne on stage. This is guy's just he looks cool, he moves cool, he plays cool, he dresses cool.
Right.
I want to be Warren DeMartini.
And sorry, because I don't know names. Who is that?
Rat's
Okay.
lead guitar player.
Okay.
So when I finally met him in '99 at the juke joint, I was like,
Oh, that's cool.
oh my god,
Yeah.
Man crush. So that would work.
he was like the dude.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep. Brian, what is Brian saying here? He says, I had PK Ripper, a Diamondback, Mongoose,
You had a Dan Gurney
and Dan Gurney.
Wow.
I had a PK Ripper.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about
I've-
anything that's happening here.
I've
What?
still got two. They're BMX bikes.
Oh, okay.
I've still got
I got
two.
you.
I've got two PK Rippers now.
Really?
Okay.
And I raced a PK Ripper back in the day.
Wow.
But he had a Dan Gurney. That's a rare one.
Damn, Brian.
That's awesome.
Murders.
Yeah, I had bought a PK Ripper from a friend of mine, and I actually
You still have it?
No,
You know what that thing's worth now?
I would.
It's crazy. This things
know.
go for nice money now.
Damn.
People restore them like cars.
I had actually
I wish
bought
we'd
it.
known this when we were kids.
Oh yeah, when I was burning my Star Wars toys up.
Yeah, putting
I
them
had
putting them in the
Micronauts.
oven to watch them
Watch
melt.
them melt. Exactly. Awesome.
I had Micronauts.
Oh yeah.
Did you have Micronauts?
I talked to somebody the other day about Micronauts. 'cause
I had Micronauts.
there's a store downtown.
Children.
No, it's on Commercial Street.
Google Micronauts.
They've just got little old knickknacks, and they have Micronauts there.
Dude.
They actually have them for sale.
I don't know if I took that box from Mom's house, but I had a box of Micronauts. One was a horse. One was a... Oh, my God. Micronauts.
Jennifer saying guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Was always Neil Diamond.
Okay. That works.
Even I mean, I actually my wall at home, all my cassettes was AC/DC, Priest, Rat, Kiss, all, but I had Neil Diamond, but it wasn't in my rack. Nobody can know I have the soundtrack to The Jazz Singer.
Nice.
Now I don't care. And then also Mellencamp.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And later on, at some point, if I could have played guitar for any band, if you could have said, Mike, you get to pick whoever you want to play with, it would have been Mellencamp in the late 80s and 90s era, because I loved that band.
Yeah.
His backing band at the time
He had a
was
great
phenomenal.
band. And even well into the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
The band continued to be freaking amazing.
But then, once that whole thing blew up over money and Kenny Aronoff left, Toby Myers left, Larry Crane, Dave Grit, and Lisa Germano on violin, once they were all gone, I was like, dude, your backing band's very important.
Yeah.
Not just you.
That's true.
I
That
know
is
it's your
true.
name, but your band you got now just doesn't have that energy. I mean, Kenny Aronoff, who's got that guy's energy?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
He's one of my
Nobody. That
favorite
guy's
drummers
such
of
a-
all time.
And when you watch him play, he beats. He takes
Yeah.
beating drums to a different
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me, if you ever saw the footage of Tom Petty when they played on Saturday Night Live with Dave Grohl on drums.
Oh, I have not seen
Oh,
this.
because they were having a lot of problems with
Did you know about
with
this?
Stan.
I've known about it, but I don't think I saw it.
Stan,
Holy
their drummer.
cow.
I'm a huge. I worship Tom Petty. Tom Petty's one of my favorites.
He's a big fan, too.
And when they were having problems with the original drummer Stan, when he was kind of having issues about was he going to be in the band, they're like, we're playing Silent Live. If you don't want to show up, fine. And they had Dave Grohl play, and they're literally laughing while watching him play because he's playing like he's in Nirvana.
Yeah.
He's still just.
Yeah.
I
And
hope
they're
we
just
can
like,
find.
this
Is that
is
on
like-
YouTube
yeah,
somewhere?
yeah.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
sure it
Yeah,
is.
it
Yeah.
is.
I want to watch that when we're done here.
I wish. Granted, there would have been no Foo Fighters had he stayed the drummer of Tom Petty, but
Right.
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine, because Tom Petty generally is pretty mellow,
Yeah,
and you've got
and you
Dave
can see
beating
it
the shit out of the
and
drums?
You can see it on their faces.
Yeah.
Because they're just kind of like, dude.
Man, I bet that's cool.
And it works.
Oh, well, Dave Grohl, Dave Grohl, is just Dave Grohl. He's awesome.
I need to make you a special pad that you can hit when you want to.
I know. I'm trying to not
You need to have a soundboard that
do
has,
this.
like, gunshots and stuff.
Well, we wanted to.
I need to build a table because of this.
This table
hollow.
sucks. Look, let's just do it. This sucks. Yeah, that sounds gross.
Awful.
Who do you rate? Oh, she's asking me about guitar players.
Jennifer is on it with all these things.
She's a music lover.
She is on it. She says, "Who do you rate top 6 to 8 guitar players?" 6 to 8. That's a random number.
Who do you rate top 6 to 8?
I've got players.
Hi, Mark. Mark Davis is here. Hello.
I would say
What does she mean? Like who are 6 guitar players that are great?
Yeah, because I've got kind of two categories for that. I've got players that influence me, but players that I think are great. Mm-hmm. Ace Frehley from Kiss is the reason I ever picked up a guitar.
Okay.
Warren DeMartini from Rat is the reason I picked it up again.
I love it.
And really got it. But, obviously Eddie Van Halen, Warren DeMartini, George Lynch from Dokken, Joe Satriani blew my mind when I heard Surfing with the Alien. Steve Vai, phenomenal player, but he's just a little too out there for me for a long period of time. I can only handle him in small doses.
Right? I feel you. Yeah.
But his greatness is
phenomenal.
Is not even in question.
Right. Right.
Maybe he's just too good for my brain to handle.
Right.
But Eddie, Ace, Frehley, Warren DeMartini, Dave Grissom from Mellencamp's band, B.B. King. I can't get enough of him. And my Uncle Harold.
That's
when he
cool.
played it. And another guitar player used to be local named David Mark from Mr. Scary. Mm-hmm. He was one of the only people. I ended up really good friends with him, but he taught me more about the instrument in a short time than anybody I'd ever taken lessons from. Because he was not, here, this is how you're going to play. Here's your first lesson. I'm going to teach you how to play Looks That Kill by Motley Crue. He's like, no, you need to know what you're playing, why you're playing, and how you're playing it. And he actually started to teach me the instrument, not just show me songs.
Yeah.
And he was a huge influence on me.
There's such a difference between that when it comes to lessons, like teaching the song or teaching the instrument.
Right. Because I've had people ask me to give them lessons, and I'm like, no, I'm not a good teacher. A teacher is way more important. I mean, just because someone can play doesn't mean they can teach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. And some people who aren't the best players make the greatest teachers. Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird.
Well, you look at, like, what's one of the most famous guitars ever made? Stratocaster.
Mm-hmm.
Leo Fender couldn't even play a guitar. I still have a hard time even believing that.
Yeah.
Made one of the most iconic guitars ever made, and he couldn't play.
And here,
How?
Yeah, right.
He had good people around him, apparently. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, building a guitar is more woodworking than it is musical.
Right.
So,
I mean, I get
maybe
it.
Maybe he was a hell of a woodworker.
I get it. It's just hard to fathom.
Yeah, right. Well, I have a passion for it.
I was today years old when I learned that. I didn't know he didn't play.
No.
Mr. Fender. Mr. Fender. With a capital Mr.
Good old Leo Fender. I need another person you talk about influence, Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because people are like, you're not that big fan of the Beatles. I'm like, well, do you like Buddy Holly? And they're like, no. I go, well, he was a huge influence on the Beatles. So
right.
Yeah.
Stick it.
I think what I like about Buddy Holly is he didn't give a shit. Like,
no, he didn't.
He was the OG punk rocker.
OG,
absolutely.
He's the godfather of punk rock.
Everyone
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Everyone kind of thinks Elvis, but Buddy Holly.
No. Yeah, Buddy Holly.
Elvis is the godfather of Justin Bieber.
Probably.
Yeah, but Buddy Holly is
he's the godfather of pop.
Well, see, that was one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know Michael Jackson's considered the king of pop.
He's the king of pop.
I don't even know if I would give Elvis Presley rock and roll. I know you just kind of have to by default because it's like, oh, Elvis was rock and roll, but I don't. He's rock and roll's got a lot of branches, and I really think that Elvis is more the kind of godfather of heavy metal, like Motley Crue and Rat and Poison.
Elvis?
Ultimately, like if you give it time, yes.
Oh, like if you actually saw the evolution.
If you give it time, whereas
like the evolution of the Grand Canyon, for instance.
Whereas Buddy Holly, I would give him more being the godfather of the Sex Pistols.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because you got to have a little bit of variables there.
Sure.
I mean, if you're going to talk about which seed grew punk rock, heavy metal, grunge rock, pop rock, you got to keep going.
Oh yeah, that's what when you start saying, well, getting on me because I'm not a big Beatles fan. Well, let's go beyond the Beatles. What influenced them? Then why aren't you into them?
Right.
Exactly.
Because Buddy Holly had the music industry tried to steer him in a direction, and he was like, "Screw you." Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I loved about Tom Petty is the way they tried to manhandle him in his career, and he's like, "I'd rather sell peanuts and give in to what you guys want."
Yeah.
You're not going to strong arm.
That's a whole different kind of a rock star.
Oh yeah.
You can have a rock star that totally sold out from the get-go. They did all the right things. They did all the right endorsements. They're playing for all the girls, and they just did that. But that's not anything like what people like Tom Petty did, and even Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
As far as not selling out at no cost.
Yeah, and another artist I grew up listening to, because like I said, being influenced by my mom, I was James Brown.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
I'm not a dancing guy, but you put on some James Brown and I just want to groove.
But just talk about an original too. He's an original. Like he didn't give a fuck. This is what I'm doing.
And those were the guys the Beatles were into when they was kids.
Right.
They loved those dudes.
Buddy Holly, James Brown, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And my my daughter loves
Little Richard,
a lot of that
all
stuff.
of them.
Oh
love
yeah.
Little Richard.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Rat the video. They got part of it. The Little Richard show is in it with them, and you can tell they're just starstruck.
Wow, that's cool.
It's Little Richard.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really think, well, those guys get starstruck too.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Totally.
Sure.
That's funny. How old's your daughter now?
She is 21.
21.
Year and a half left of college, and it's off to St. Louis to med school.
Wow.
I'm not smiling like you are. If you're watching, sweetie, nothing personal. I love you. I don't want you to go anywhere. But I get it.
Wow.
She's got a long-distance relationship with a guy she met at Drury, but he went back home after college, and they kind of split. And it's like, this ain't over between you two.
Yeah.
And he's a super good guy.
Mm-hmm.
I really like him.
That's cool. It helps when the daddy likes him.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
St. Louis ain't bad. You'll get to where you can do that.
Well, I used to go to St. Louis every week.
Oh, did you?
Every weekend, because, Dave Mark, a friend of mine, moved up there. I just go up there all the time and hang out. So I'm very familiar with that town. And I got family that live up there. So
Oh, cool.
St. Louis is always a fun place to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to go to.
Get some Lion's Choice.
Lion's Choice. Arby's. No.
Oh, I like Arby's, but Arby's is about a 5. Lion's Choice is a solid 10.
No, I'll have to disagree with you there.
I wish we'd have discussed this before I agreed to come on. Have a good night.
No, no.
I haven't had Lion's Choice.
You haven't?
I don't think so.
I
I'm
had
from
it
St. Louis.
So long ago that, okay, I'll do a side-by-side taste test next time we go
And
to
I
St.
like
Louis.
All right, next time we
I
go
don't
to
have a
St.
problem
Louis.
with Arby's.
Arby's is like the fact. I worked at Arby's for a year and a half when I was in college, and I still like their food.
That's why you're
how
partial.
much I love Arby's.
Arby's is very subpar in the wide span of fast food.
I want to know.
Arby's is down on the list.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're just like stick a bunch of meat
No.
on a sandwich
No.
and nothing is centered.
It's so.
They
Well,
don't-
when
they
I
don't-
was there.
Okay, well that was 30.
When I
that
worked-
was 45 years ago.
Jesus Christ, it was not 45
It
years
was 46 years ago.
I worked at McDonald's for 5 hours.
ago. 5 hours.
5 hours. Tell us that story.
5 hours and I'm done. I can't do this. It was the one over on Gunstone and Cherry. I came in, did my 5-hour shift, and I'm like, can't
Go,
do
man.
this. Of course, I was a little spoiled, I guess, at the time a little bit.
I will always choose Arby's.
One of my funnest jobs, though, it didn't pay good. I worked at the Regency for a while.
Oh,
Did you?
did you?
What'd you do?
I just worked stagehand, security, and stuff like that. So I got to see a lot of good bands. But a lot of bands that you never heard of,
What years was that?
It'd have been the early 90s.
Yeah, so
90,
you probably know
91.
Tony Medlock.
That name rings a bell.
Light guy. He was a light guy.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember.
You'd probably know him if you saw him. He used to work there.
Yeah, because a lot of people come and go.
He did a lot of Johnny Q sound and lighting. Went on tour with us and stuff like that when we played down.
Do you remember a guy named Vance? I think was a sound guy there. And
I think so. Yeah.
There was a band that came through there opening for Concrete Blonde. They were out of Chicago called The Way Moves. Mm-hmm. Freaking great band.
Wow.
Made no noise, but it just makes me sick to think there's so many of those bands.
Oh, there's so much talent that never gets heard.
No, did you ever run with Jordan Border?
No.
Remember Jordan Border?
I remember the name.
Yeah. Brad Lamont was the drummer, and I don't know any of the other guys in the band, but they were doing pretty good back in the
New World
days.
Spirits, remember them?
Mm-hmm.
They did an album, I think, on MCA.
Damn.
But they're a good band. There's just so much talent out there that you'll never
hear. Yeah.
Jennifer says, I'd rather eat Arby's than in fast food hamburger.
Yeah, but you need to have some Lion's Choice.
No.
Is Lion's Choice fast food?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And so it's just like Arby's, but not as good.
But better. Take her hot sauce away from her. She can't have it.
Matt Stewart says, come to Farmington. Kate and I will chauffeur you to Lion's Choice in
There
St.
you
Louis.
go.
Okay, so once again, Matt, I'm glad you're watching. So hopefully Kate is too. Wish her a happy birthday yesterday. Lion's Choice. Oh, I don't know. So
Tara, have you even had it?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I call
bullshit.
Time ago.
I'm going to do some more hot sauce.
Okay.
Off the wrist.
I want a different one.
You just about went
Jennifer,
the music died on us right there.
I know.
Yeah.
Jennifer also says, but I'll always choose Chick-fil-A as a fast food choice.
Chick-fil-A is great.
I don't know the last time.
I would say Chick-fil-A, even though it's Chick-fil-A.
I know. It would be so much better if it was Chick-fil-A.
I think the best fast
open this one.
food,
I want to try it.
just bar anything else, is Jack in the Box tacos. They are number one
Every
for
time
me.
we go that way, he's got to go to Jack in the Box.
White Castle's is number 2, and that's all in front
that's
of.
Sullivan, isn't it? There's a Jack
There
in the
is
Box.
one in
Cuba.
Cuba
Well,
and in Sullivan.
Well, Sullivan's got a Jack in the Box. There's also Lion's Choice there.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Right around the corner.
Next time we head that way, we're going to freaking Lion's Choice, and we're going to try this because it might change my mind. It's been a long time since
Arby's
I had
is
Lion's
just
Choice.
not that impressive to me. It's just not. It's just like
best
roast beef on a bread, and that's all they give you.
No, they have the Market Fresh sandwiches with the great bread and all
Market
that.
Fresh.
There's a new place. Well, there's a fairly new place here in town. Have you guys had Kung Fu Taco?
No,
but I've heard about it.
That sounds delightful.
It's right down here.
Yeah,
right on.
Well, it's south of Battlefield.
Yeah,
and it's amazing, absolutely amazing.
I'm trying the peach one,
and it faces south.
Well, yes. It's
come
where
and
Big
go.
Fat Burrito used to be.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen it because I go to that gas station every morning.
That place is
never
great.
been impressed with Fat Burrito. No,
I didn't like Big Fat Burrito.
Oh,
how is it?
Shit!
Is that one hotter than the other one?
It
Nice.
feels hotter, but it tastes better.
Is this the one that is?
It's peach.
Peach.
Ooh. If Donnie was still watching, he'd be like, "Aha! You guys are silly."
They're having the Twisted Sister guitarist hot sauce.
Oh my! So Matt says, Matt Stewart says, Matt says she's watching and said thank you, but we have Arby's here in Farmington. I see. So something different. So Brian says Kung Fu tacos are amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
He also says love Jack in the Box, and Mark Davis says I call it Fill-A-Chick when it comes to
Chick-fil-A.
That was one of
Chick-fil-A.
my brief time in Los Angeles. That was one of the things I had to eat at was All American Burger because of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, right.
yeah.
It wasn't the All American Burger,
Right.
but
You still have
we
to
drove
do
by
that.
and we're like, it's All American Burger. Fast
Right.
Times, we gotta stop.
What did you think of the peach?
It's good.
It's really tasty.
those are
Both of these are really
fantastic.
tasty, and they're super hot,
We're gonna have to start a collection.
but they're tolerable. So
Do you want to try a couple drips of
Sure.
Of Donnie's
Donnie's
last
sauce?
week?
Absolutely.
I don't have the super hot one that he brought, but
Right.
the one he let us keep was
Yeah.
fucking hot.
And I never tried it either,
Heck
so
yeah, I'll
I need
try
to
it.
try that. Yeah, so he's from Donnie Cochran from last week. He was on last week, and he's
Yeah, he was fun.
he's gonna start doing like a hot wing thing, eating like that show Hot Ones or whatever,
Right.
blah blah blah.
makes
He's gonna
the
start
stuff
doing that real
himself.
soon. But he also does an open mic, which he's probably getting ready
Sorry, I
to
keep
do
hitting
right
the
now.
mic.
Just FYI, open mic over at the Outland is happening
How
tonight.
should I do this?
Just on your
He
wrist.
suggested wrist
like
because-
change like testing a baby bottle.
I got my
Or you can use your other
other
wrist. You have another wrist.
Really?
Like you totally have
I'm gonna bust my balls.
like another wrist.
You don't gotta
there.
take your watch off.
You know,
Use your second wrist.
You have two wrists.
Well, no, it's gonna be weird.
It's why is
Yeah,
it?
because I'm used to moving this arm ways I'm not.
Are
used
you
to
left-handed?
doing. No, that's
Okay.
what's weird.
I know.
When I race, I start like I'm left-handed on the track. It's odd. So I'm just
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
Just
figure it
fingers
on your
fine.
finger.
It just-
Fingers. Oh, hey!
You got to
wow.
make sure you don't accidentally itch your eyes.
Now
with
you-
it.
Yeah. Now I got it all over my lap. Holy cow. That's got
Right?
a great flavor.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried that one yet, so I want to try that one as well.
Try it.
Here, I got some more in my pants.
I'm gonna crawl over there under the
Don't
table.
want to waste this stuff. Holy cow. That's amazing.
I'm gonna try that.
And he made that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made it.
I'll try this one.
I can't
for
remember
sure.
what the.
That's nice. That's got a good burn.
All right.
What nobody knows is I spilled water all over myself
Before you got
before this
here.
even started. And now I'm spilling hot sauce too.
You are right. That has great flavor.
It does. Right.
All three of these.
And I like the slow burn.
Yeah.
'Cause it's getting hotter and hotter
Yep.
just sitting here.
It's in the back of my throat now. Oh, yeah. Plain water.
I haven't tried to do the other fun stuff. I call it fun stuff because I've never even thought in a million years to put hot sauce in my coffee or hot sauce in
Yeah.
my pancake syrup. But I'm going to need to try that. So,
Yeah.
because I don't know.
Totally.
It'd be wild.
It would be crazy because he did a whole video like I don't know. He has a whole Chili Mancer. Just check out Chili Mancer on YouTube and you can watch some of his
Man,
stuff.
that's burning.
Right?
I like it.
Same here, right?
I'm starting to feel like I'm going to get my Isaac Hayes going in.
Right.
What's up, baby?
It's funny because it's
You
like
like red? I like red.
drink a couple of like seltzer water. Like seltzer water is not cool. Like I need regular water.
Man, I'd like to have that on some wings.
Right? You got to try his wings sometime.
Yeah, well, I need to use Donny sauce on.
Yeah.
Add it to my wings a little bit.
That'd be delightful. That'd be delightful. We are over 210 right now. So
Well, yeah.
is there anything else that we've forgotten that you want to talk about?
Or what's going on
tonight?
now?
What's going on now? What are you doing? Are you getting your camera back out? Are you doing
I'm
anything like
feeling
that?
a lot more like getting stuff out. I mean,
Nice.
Obviously, in the last 4 months, I decided I needed to make some changes in my life. I was almost 300 pounds,
There's that. That's a good topic.
and I'm like years of just. I don't even know how to call it any other than being just depressed, because I was just physically drained all the time. I never could sleep, and then I got inspired by Paula Mason, Steve Mason's wife, and seeing her making
Yeah.
some life changes that were amazing, and then she started helping out with Kelly Bowman from
Yeah.
the 30 Saints, and I ran into him, and I didn't recognize him. So I
Yes.
was like, holy cow, Kelly.
we saw him recently, yeah.
What did you do? And he told me what he did. He's like, you need to give Paula a
And
call.
his wife too. JJ's
and
on it
his-
too.
So I called Paula, and she kind of gave me the lowdown on what she was doing, and I'm like, all right, I need to do something.
Right.
Here I am, 4 months later, I'm down over 80 pounds.
Wow.
Mentally, I feel like $1 million. I feel like getting out. Like, I went out Friday and Saturday night to go see bands. I never wanted to do that because I was always so exhausted when I got home from work. And just, I got the mental clarity. It's just everything about, I feel like I'm alive again. I don't feel like I'm walking in thick mud.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. If you want to know how not to feel like that anymore, I'd be willing to. I'll tell you what I did. Contact me, because you don't have to live like this.
Nice.
And now when I see people that remind me of how I was living, I'm like, man, I feel bad.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
like,
right.
You don't have to live like this anymore. We can quit poisoning ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel amazing. So I feel like getting out and doing things more.
Without getting into it, like if she's got a program, maybe is she a paid? Is she working as a person who gets paid? Because I don't want to take away anything like giving away secrets. But does she get paid for this?
I mean, there's a,
You're talking about Paulo.
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's kind of like a as a representative type thing.
Yeah.
Because
Like a counselor almost?
yeah, almost like a kind of a health coach.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's how she's helped me get through a lot of stuff. And then and I'm like, people start asking me, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then so I was like, well, Paul, I want to send. And she's like, well, you're doing this, you're learning about this. They're coming to you. Mm-hmm. They're going to want to work with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I don't. She's like, you don't got to know everything. Everything is the mechanics are there for the support for anybody that wants to change their life. Mm-hmm. So people are going to talk to you and they're going to want to do it through you. And I'm like, nah. She's like, you really ought to think about this. And then people just started coming to me and saying, what are you doing? I want to change my life. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then about 2 months ago, I actually read something that floored me. Because I always had this mindset, if I don't know everything about something, I have no business trying to tell someone else about it. Well, that's stupid, not true. And then I read this quote that says, you only have to be one step ahead of people to lead them.
Oh, true that. Yes.
And I had never thought about that.
That is a great quote.
Only one step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I've already seen it change my friends' lives.
Yeah. We've seen it not just with Paula, but Kelly and you and a handful of others.
The mental health thing is my mental state has been more important to me than the weight loss.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
I know I'm just not that depressed, defeated mindset all the time anymore.
Yeah.
And it's nice to go from a 46 waist to a 34.
Hell yeah.
And from 3X shirts to a large.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I sleep good. My digestive system's not a mess. But I was just eating garbage all the time.
Yes.
And it's helped me also be way more sympathetic to people with addictions.
Sure.
Because I've really realized how much food was an addiction to me, how much food was a comfort to me. Even though it's a brief comfort that ends up, it's just a cycle. It makes you feel terrible all the time. Even just for those brief moments of, I'm enjoying this pizza and now, an hour later I feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My body's just not built for this all the time.
Yeah.
And you don't have to live this way.
Right. So it's mostly about what you consume.
About mine's been strictly diet change. And I eat 6 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I drink a ton of water. I mean, I was drinking 8 to 10 cans of Dr. Pepper daily.
Right.
Fast food for breakfast, snack before lunch, fast food for lunch. And I was spending like $43 a day to poison myself, basically.
Right.
And
right.
why?
Yeah.
And it freaks me out now when I go to the grocery store and realize how much stuff in the grocery store is crap.
Yeah. When you start learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing when the stuff that's good for you is expensive.
Because generally speaking, we weren't asking for coaching from Paula, but we just talked to her like, oh my gosh, you look great. This was like a year ago or something. Mm-hmm. And kind of her one bullet point.
The biggest bullet point.
If I've just got one bullet point for you, it's the sugar. The sugar is what's killing people more than anything.
And she told me, she's like, when you start this, and I was scared to commit it.
Sure.
Because I'm like, do I really want to give up all, my comfort?
Yep.
Dr. Pepper, first thing I did out in the morning was reach over and grab a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And
not a Mr. Pibb.
If I had Mr. Pibb, it would be a Mr. Pibb.
Yeah.
But
okay.
They can't sell it here other than in fountain drinks because it's a weird agreement between Coke and
Weird. Okay.
I've actually looked into that.
Right.
But where was I going?
The sugar.
The sugar thing.
And I
committing to it.
Sat on it for like almost 2 weeks. And she's like, you need to commit to a day that you're going to start this. And she's like, the first 4 or 5 days, your body's going to freak out because you're detoxing. Mm-hmm. She goes, I know it's not as serious as like heroin or something like that, but your body's like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
She goes, but once you're through it, trust me, you're going to feel better. And even 2.5 weeks just of changing my diet, I started feeling alive again. And it's like, this is weird. Mm-hmm. This is how a person's supposed to feel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not just bogged down. And when I used to get home from work, man, I wanted to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now I'm up an hour and a half sooner than I'm normally up. Everyone at work's like, wow, you're more focused. You're obviously happier. You're more energetic. And my daughter can get her arms around me now. Some people don't recognize me, but
yeah.
You don't have to live that way. Is what I got to say.
What I love about it is it's so much more than just how you look. You look fantastic, but it's all about. You were talking to us at Just One More a couple weeks ago, And it was all about your brain and your mind and your heart and your soul. Like you feel better as a human being, regardless of how you look.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of people focus so much on weight loss being the way you look and present to other people. But there's so much more to that, including your attitude, your feelings about yourself, your confidence. Everything is better when you get healthy.
Right.
And instead of get skinny, don't say get skinny, get healthy.
Yeah, just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And that's when I started, because I hate pictures. I hate being in them. I don't now. Now I don't care.
Yay.
Because I don't have that self-conscious. But it was because I didn't, when I saw myself, I felt myself.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I could feel what I see. And now I see a real smile on my face. When I see myself smile, I know it's real.
Yeah.
And if you came to me right now and said, okay, Mike, we're going to have to give you all your weight back or take your mental health away. You can only have one of them. Give me the mental health.
Yep.
Because I'm now happy. I don't
100%
have this fake,
agree.
I don't have this fake smile on my face.
Yes. Yeah. That's cool.
And that's why when I do post before and after photos, I'm very much stressed how much the mental health has changed. Yeah. And I'll take that over the weight loss any day.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't mind the weight loss because obviously it's easier for me to work.
Sure.
But the mental health's been amazing.
That's great. That's fantastic.
It's just wild, man. The story behind how they promote sugar to us ever since we were born, and the cereal and the
everything,
cartoons, and it's just everywhere.
Brian Betancourt says, they put sugar in beef jerky.
Like,
you have to read the labels.
Oh yeah, I saw it the other day. I saw it was a ketchup bottle, and all that was in it was the amount of sugar, and it was like a third of the bottle is sugar.
Right.
It's like, why?
Because it keeps us depressed. It keeps
us coming back to that product too.
Right. It's an addiction.
Yep.
And if anyone says it's not, they're an idiot.
Right.
That's my black and white thing.
Right.
It is what it is.
It is. Right. That's true. That is true.
Is what it is.
Are you going to say the rest of that?
No, because nobody understands the inside joke.
Inside joke. Okay, we won't say that.
But yeah, man, this has been fun. Sitting down, hanging
I've had
out.
a blast.
Yeah.
Super fun.
I love talking music. I love talking photography.
Talking music.
Yeah.
I didn't actually realize till tonight that you were a BMX bike guy.
I didn't either.
Oh yeah.
Bill Ramsey worked for me for years.
I was actually in a BMX magazine.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I raced for Kuahara and Redline.
Damn.
It's my only claim to fame is I'm in the team photo with Kuahara.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, cool.
I had a Redline too.
I raced for them.
Did you? I had a Redline.
So did my brother.
I bought my brother a PK Ripper for his birthday.
Nice.
I had a bike, but I don't know what it was.
I restored it, which by restoring it, I was like 13 and like hung it from a hook and spray painted it myself out of a can.
So
a PK Ripper.
What's it going to take to get you back on the track?
Get you back.
Oh, I never raced. I don't think I could get. I just rode around my neighborhood.
I've got extra bikes.
I had a Roger DeCoster.
Dude.
That was my bike.
BMX products. The same company made Mongoose.
I loved it.
What's the bike in the garage next door? The old one?
The old one. Oh, it's not there anymore, but I had the Schwinn.
Stingray?
Yeah, I bought a Stingray from.
Wow, that's considered the first BMX bike ever.
Yeah. With the banana seat.
It was.
The Schwinn Stingray.
It was not.
Fucking ape hanger kind of.
Probably wasn't super recoverable, but I bought it at a fucking flea market for $40.
Seriously, wow.
Had the tall handle.
Oh yeah,
it didn't have the shifter.
That
it was just
got
a one
history.
speed.
There's actually a BMX documentary called Joe Kidd on Stingray: The History of BMX.
I might have seen. I've seen a show about specifically the Stingrays because I had a Stingray when I was a kid. I had a
That's
green
why you got that one.
Stingray that actually had the three shifts.
Yeah. Is it three? I thought it was 5.
I think there were 5s and 3s. Yeah. I thought because I think mine was.
I had
3.
a bike like that, but I didn't have the Stingray.
Right.
Mine was from JCPenney's at the mall.
Right.
Nice.
You always laugh when I'm in JCPenney's now. When I come down the escalator, I'm like, I bought Rock and Roll Over by Kiss. Was in a record bin right there.
Right? JCPenney doesn't do that anymore.
I can tell you where I bought almost every Kiss record in town.
Right.
I bought Kiss Unmasked on Kmart when it was on East Sunshine. Look at you. I bought Alive 2 when Consumers Market on College Street used to be a grocery store.
Oh,
They actually sold records there.
At the grocery store.
I bought Kiss Alive 2. I'd sold enough money at a garage sale. My mom was or sold enough money. I sold enough stuff to make enough money.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get Kiss Alive 2.
Holy cow.
Buy your own Kiss record.
Yeah.
That's nice. Very cool.
Oh, I love it, man. This is good stuff.
This has been great. Getting to know you, getting to hang out and talk with you and stuff like that. And people were questioning, like a lot of times they just sit silent when we're telling fun stories and stuff. It's all good. It is all good.
Well, thanks for having me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man. This was a good time.
So, are you going to get out with your camera?
Sometime soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah. I'll get
It's
it
okay to
I
answer
hope so.
maybe.
I hope so.
I will.
Maybe
Because you
not.
have some really good stuff.
You are talented.
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. And what about playing? I know you said something
I don't
about-
think I've ever actually heard you play myself,
Nope.
except for these old YouTube videos.
No, I've never heard you.
There's a couple clips of me on Facebook of me noodling around a little bit.
Right.
I was doing some acoustic 80s metal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Played some Rock You Like a Hurricane on my acoustic.
Yeah.
That's
But I'm
cool.
I still got that stage fright thing happening.
I gotcha.
That's the only. I mean, that's the only thing that's kept me from doing it again.
You never got over it?
No.
And never got comfortable with it, even when you were in a band?
Wow.
Huh.
Hated it. I mean, I hated that I couldn't get past it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like Craig, the guy the guitar player I played with, he does a lot of acoustic stuff now down toward in Kirmong City, and he probably does 150 shows, maybe more a year. He said, "Man, you got to come and sit in." I'm like, "No,
I can't.
Wow.
I'll freak out. I can't do it."
Well, there's an open mic tonight at the Outland.
Yeah. I'll cheer on whoever's there.
Right on.
And that's why if you can get me on stage for 1 hour, I want to do it with these guys one last time I like my daughter to see it.
Yeah.
And I'm almost freaked out even just thinking about it. It's like I'm gonna have to really practice. So I'm like, muscle memory will take
Get your
over
green
when I
pants
panic.
back
Get your
out,
green
man. Just go
pants.
for it.
Get some
Where's
Celtics
that old
pants.
school
If-
punk
if
rocker?
I could find some Celtic sweats, I'll wear
There you
them.
go.
Because a friend of mine actually has an afro wig.
There you go.
That
that'd
looks
be-
like my
Your
old
color?
hair.
Oh,
Looks
that'd
like
be
my
the
old
shit.
hair.
That would
That'd
the
be
shit.
so great.
It reminds me of what you did with
Yeah.
John Q. Public.
Johnny
When you
Q,
came
yeah.
out that wig on, I was like, dude, that's freaking green.
It was like obviously a party wig.
Oh, yeah.
Totally just a party
But
wig.
it was perfect.
Yeah.
Right. It made the point. And he ripped it off.
Oh, yeah, because I'd probably watched the video a couple days before that night.
Yeah.
Man, if
funny.
you'd have told me back in the 90s I was going to be sitting here with the singer from John Q. Public, because I was all into that whole scene back then.
Yeah.
You know, DC Talk, Guardian, all that stuff.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Because I had the John Q. Public seat. I didn't even know you guys were local.
Oh, right.
And
Wow.
someone's like, oh, that's a local band. I'm like,
Nuh-uh.
no, it's not. It's all on MTV.
I think we printed the fucking address of. It might have been P.O. Box, but I thought we had an address.
I'm pretty
on
sure
one
I
of our-
looked in it, and that's when I went, oh, they are.
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. Like it was kind of like management, and here's the address, but it was really just our guitar player's parents' house.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So I lived over here on Jefferson, right, like in front of 2 streets over, of
Right.
course, but right in front of Parkview High School.
Okay.
So Parkview's on whatever street that is. Campbell. One more street over is Jefferson.
Right.
And I had a house right there. I'm at home one time, like in my damn underwear by myself, and knock on the door, and there's like 5-6 people on my front porch. And it's like this older guy and like these 4 or 5 kids, like couple, 3 or 4 girls and maybe a boy or 2 that are all like under the age
Right.
of don't right on my damn door. And I'm just like, who the hell is that? And shit's all fucked. I had a bunch of work I needed to do on the house and the yard. Looked horrible. I opened the door. I was like, hello. And they're like, they're all excited. I'm like, they were there because they looked my address up.
Oh, my God.
That's
And they
crazy.
drove like hours to get to my damn house. And I'm like, hey, and they're like, oh, we just wanted to see if you really lived here or some shit like this, and signed
That's
autographs.
crazy.
And I'm like, you can't really just come to my house. Like,
Well, you put the address out
but
there.
the address, we didn't think to like protect any of that info back then.
I
You could
think
just look it up in the phone book.
was the one that told me you guys were actually from here because I'd got the CD at CPO over on National.
Christian Publishers Outlet.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I used to go there every Saturday. I'd buy a book or two and go to Zio's.
I miss Zio's.
And that's when I wore hockey jerseys.
Oh, you're talking about the CPO South by the Waffle House. It's still there, isn't it?
I thought so.
They moved across the street.
Oh, right.
They were across the street, then they moved to the store on the west side, and then they downsized and went back.
Yeah.
But that's back when in the 90s, all I wore was hockey jerseys. No sweatpants, and it was just hockey jerseys.
Hockey jerseys and sweatpants.
Did you ever play hockey? You like hockey?
I love hockey. I coached it. I used to coach kids hockey.
Really?
Oh, did you?
I'm just finding out all kinds of shit.
Love hockey.
That's awesome.
I'm a Red Wings man.
Mm-hmm. Red Wings? Really?
Red Wings in St. Louis until Mike Keenan came in and dismantled the team. And when he traded Brendan Shanahan, I was like, you suck. But then I woke up one day and Shanahan was on the Red Wings. I'm like, we're going to win the cup this year. And did we? Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice. Very good.
That's funny. I used to have so many hockey jerseys. A waitress came up to me at Zio's one time. She goes, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, actually, one of the cooks wants to ask you. He says every time he sees you, you have a different hockey jersey on. He wants to know how many hockey jerseys you have. And I had like 30 of them.
Oh, geez.
Like,
wow.
Numbered.
Right.
But when I get into something, I get into it.
Yeah, you get a little CD, yeah.
But hockey jerseys from different teams or all one team?
Different teams.
Gotcha.
Different teams.
Just hockey.
Your particular player?
If I like it. Well, one of them I went down to Branson. They just had a whole bunch of them cheap on sale. So I just bought them all.
Nice.
The one they had.
Oh, right.
It's like, I don't care. I don't like Pat Falloon, but jersey looks cool.
It's funny that once you start getting into something, you start seeing it available in your life more often.
Yeah, it's like you never see a Ford Taurus till you buy one. And now everyone's got one.
Right.
Mark Davis says, I remember the Turn.
Yep, I was in the Turn.
We've talked about that on this show before.
Was that a band?
That was a band, yeah.
Okay.
With Gary Bedell and...
Oh, yeah.
And
that would have been
Brian Duvall.
Before Johnny Cuba.
Yeah.
Old school.
I haven't seen Brian since the JQ Public Show. I knew of him, but I didn't know him.
Yeah.
He's still playing full time in Branson, and he's got drums. He's goes to drum things all the time.
The best glasses in the business.
Best glasses in the business, and he just doesn't quit. It's great. I love it.
If you don't believe me, just ask him.
Just ask him. Right on.
Anyway, I had a great time. I'll end with a great story that Mike might appreciate now that I just recently found out about his hockey love.
Okay.
When because we were talking about stuff about this, similar to this earlier. When I was younger, my brother and I used to kind of collect cards. It was really more his thing than it was mine, but I was kind of getting into it because my older brother inspired me. So we sort of did it together, kind of, but whatever. And we would kind of really get into having full sets of certain years. So instead of individual cards, here's a Ken Griffey Jr. card, rookie, or something like that, it was more do you have the entire 1972 top set? Oh
yeah, you had to have the whole set.
Yeah, the whole set. Those kinds of things.
Me and my daughter are like that. I gotta have every, even if I don't like a movie, I still gotta have it because it's part of the series.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Yep.
If I hate it.
So when I was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 or 10, 11, somewhere in that range of years, I had a friend of mine that it was a guy friend that I kind of almost, sometimes you get these strange man crushes when you're 10, 11, not sexual, just sometimes you can really get close to a buddy when you're only 11 years old.
Yeah.
He was kind of that friend to me, and I told him I had some hockey cards, and I also wanted to go to Old Orchard, which was a local little street kind of by where I lived. I wanted McDonald's, so I had a set. It was kind of more my brother's than it was mine, but we sort of did it together. But I had and it was a kick-ass set of cards. I won't remember if it was Topps or if it was Dunris or whoever it was, but the hockey pucks on the card had that shit on it that's on a lottery ticket.
Right.
So you would get the card and the hockey puck, and then you had to scratch off to see who the player was. It was like a scratch off set.
Right.
I don't know if you remember those, but we had an entire...
I had Kiss trading cards. Does that count?
Well, these were real unique because of that scratch off feature.
I've never seen those.
And so we had an entire set of hockey cards that had the pucks, the scratch off pucks. None of them had been scratched off. And I sold the entire set to my friend for $5 so that I could go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac. It had Wayne Gretzky's rookie in it.
Oh!
$5, bro. Whole set.
Wow.
Oh my God.
My brother almost killed me. He's like,
I think he still should. I might jump over this table and take you out myself.
Wow.
I was like 11. I just want to go to McDonald's. You got $5? I'll sell you this entire set with unscratched hockey pucks.
Let me ask you this, though.
Oh, my God.
When was this in relation to Wayne Gretzky's actual rookie year?
I think he was actually still playing.
Jennifer's telling me to jump over the table.
Yeah.
Like, do it.
I'm pretty sure Wayne Gretzky was still playing. I mean, I was probably somewhere like 11, so that would have been 1982.
83, whatever.
81 or 82, I sold that set of cards to that friend.
Gosh.
That's
I got a friend of mine.
$5.
If I tell him this story, he's not going to want it. He's going to be like, where is this guy at?
Right.
We're going to go break his legs.
That's crazy.
And then we're going to go find the guy that took him for his cards. We're going to snake him as well.
We just met on met him on my Roger DeCoster bike. Gave him the whole set for $5.
Oh my gosh. Wayne Gretzky rookie card.
Ugh.
It's good stuff, man.
Reminds me of Blast from the Past, that movie. Or no. Brewster's Millions, when he buys the expensive stamp and mails it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
ouch.
$5 for a whole set of cards with a Wayne Gretzky rookie card.
Okay, kids, we're at 2.5.
Yeah.
We're 2.5. Thank
we're
you,
good.
Mike, for being here.
Thank you.
I think next week is Nate, right?
Yeah.
Tentatively, Nate Peters from Love Bomb, the new guitar player from Love Bomb. I think he's next week, Thursday. In the meantime, Mike, it's been our absolute pleasure.
I've had a blast. Thank you for
having you here. We appreciate you. Once again, this is my moment to say, if you want to support the show, you know what to do. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. If you want to support us with little tiny pennies or big giant dollars, that's all awesome. Because, whatever. We do this every week, no matter what. So we have awesome guests now, and we have a lot of fun. So we appreciate you, one and all, for being here. Mind you, we do still have the audio podcast, which has got 56 interviews now, audio-wise, and we're going to put some of these video ones on audio soon. Also, Monday Morning Medication is every single Monday at some point on Monday. Sometimes it's Monday afternoon.
Doesn't matter.
But join us and watch it. It's super fun. We just hang out and talk about pop culture and bullshit like that. But once again,
Mike McQuerter, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. We're going to end it
time.
with some more Fool's Face, and we're going to get out of here. We thank you so much.
Grease 2.
Grease 1!
Grease 2.
Grease 1!
Grease 2.
Grease effing 1.
No. Grease 2.
Tomorrow's Rex Manning Day.
Tune in live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central.
On the Unsung Screamers Facebook page, YouTube channel, and Twitter.
And check out our Unsung Screamers podcast.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Ah!